I think that God dislikes people who are lazy. I said this to somebody once and he got very offended. I said, God doesn't like lazy people. God has created you and he wants to see the absolute best you can be. I think that if you don't take care of yourself, God has no interest in taking care of you. If you have a Ferrari on the drive and you don't take care of it, who's going to take care of it? Nobody. I think that taking care of yourself and being the best possible version of yourself you can be is how you please God. I think that's one of the best ways to praise him, is to wake up every day and say, I need to be the strongest, smartest, fastest, most fearsome, most stoic, most capable man I can possibly be. This is how I please God. I think that as a man, there's always going to be a degree of pain and suffering in your journey. I don't think you're ever going to become a successful man or be good at being a man without pain and suffering. And there's many times in my life where something terrible happened to me, and at the time, if I could change it, I would have. But retrospectively, you kind of look back and go, you know what, that was formulative for me.
That's right.
That is what God decided I needed to become who I became. So all of the pain and all the suffering I've ever gone through in my life ended up, in the end, building me into the person I am, and I'm proud of who I am. I don't think many men especially understand that even if you don't have the strength to be a hero for yourself, you should have enough discipline and enough honor to want to be a hero for somebody else. And if you have other people you truly respect, you should want to be a hero for them. And I think that's the masculine imperative. If someone's going to attack your wife, that's when you become a hero for her. You have to. What kind of man are you if you're not? You have a brain, you have a mind, you have a mental model. You can't think of everything, you can't do everything. You can only have certain frameworks instilled inside of your mind. As a man, you should be hyper competitive. You should try and be the best version of yourself you can be. You're competing against every other man on earth for the girl you want, the car you want, the house you want, the watch you wear. It's all competition. You should be as competitive as you possibly can. Anything that's inside of your mind which doesn't allow you to be competitive should be erased. So I started at the absolute lowest echelon of life, and I would like to consider myself somewhere near the top now. I've been through absolutely every stage. So when I say to men, you can become anything you want, and my answer to you is masculine excellence, there's no other answer. I can't tell you how to rig the game and cheat the game. If we're all racing a race and I have a Ferrari and you have a Nissan, I mean, sure, you can get a bit better at driving, but you're probably gonna lose. You have to get a better character to play this game of life. So that's why I preach masculine excellence, because for many of the world's problems today, porn, sexual access, being respected by your peers, making sure that your wife's gonna stay with you after the children are born for a very long time.
That's right.
Being happy, anything. It all comes down to who you are as a man. The only answer is masculine excellence. There's nothing you can do besides hard work, accept the trauma and pain and suffering, and work harder than everyone else around you worked. We have a men's mental health crisis. Young men are disenfranchised. The suicide rate amongst men is much higher than women, and everybody pretends to care. But when I come along and say, I am a man, I've been a man, I know how it feels to be a sad man and a happy man, and I found happiness through masculine achievement and strength, through working hard in the gym, through dedicating myself, through building a life worth living, through taking care of the people who I love, both male and female, through becoming financially successful, through sticking up for myself, through having opinions, through being a man of honor and courage. When I do these things, I'm ostracized, and they're attempting to destroy my life. I talk about this all the time. People say I've had a traumatic life. I say, well, then you're very, very fortunate. You had a traumatic life. Now, you may have misused that trauma. You may have misplaced it. You may have accepted the matrix telling you that you now have an excuse to fail, as opposed to using it to grow. But every single man of value went through trauma, and they went through pain. It's going to be painful to get strong, painful to get rich, painful to become important. It's going to be painful to become good with women. Your heart's going to get broken a bunch of times. You have to be prepared for the pain. If you're not ready for pain, you're never going to be anything that matters. I think that the number one problem with the world today, and the biggest problem that men face, isn't the problems themselves. It's just the way that they are been taught to mentally frame issues. People think when bad things happen to them that somehow they're a victim to the universe and bad things only happen to me and this is so terrible. They don't understand that bad things happen to everybody, and the most successful person you know had all those, probably maybe even worse, at least the same bad things happened to them. They just framed it differently and used it.
And this is what people really don't yet understand. There's only one thing on the planet you actually have control over. You can't control the weather. You can't control your health. You can get a brain aneurysm or a heart attack. You can't control other people. The only thing you can actually really truly control is what you think. That's the only thing you can change in real time. You can be thinking of red and change it to blue. So why are you not controlling your own mind? It's your asset. It's your ally. It's your friend. Why would you make an enemy out of the only thing you have control over? I refuse to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. The worst thing on earth that could happen to a man could happen to me. And I guarantee you, I would still label myself happy. I'm happy because that's who I am. That's how I view myself. That's what I've decided.
It's amazing how much strength you can get from knowing that your ancestors looking down on you and you're doing your absolute best. I also believe that God can be proud of you when you do your absolute best. And I don't think many people genuinely do their best in the world anymore. When I say do your best, people sit and go, oh yeah, okay. No, when's the last time you actually did your best? Like, I don't train to run marathons, but I know if I gave my best, I could run a marathon right now, first try. If I gave my best, life depending on it. When's the last time people have genuinely given their best to anything? There are people going through the world and going through life today that don't give their best or 100% effort to anything ever. Ever. They can't remember the last time they tried. I think it's very difficult to do nearly anything important if it's not perhaps to a degree driven by love or the desire for love even. I think the reason a lot of men want to become rich is because they want to feel loved or feel important or to matter. I also feel like the reason that a lot of men do the things they do is for love either of themselves or of someone else. I think the reason men go to work is because they love their family. The reason you go to the gym is because you love yourself. If you take a man and give him a life shielded from problems and he never has any to face, I guarantee you he's terrible at being a man. The best men in the world have gone through shit. That's why women love scars, because it didn't kill you. That's the whole point of it, right? So the best thing you can do as a man is look and go, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I feel negative because these are all so difficult. I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. Let me internalize all of that and turn it into a superpower. Let me become genuinely uncomfortable with my situation in life and go and fix things. Because like I said, the universe is absolutely and utterly very giving. And if you truly hated being in the position you were in, you wouldn't be there very long. When men say to me they're depressed, with unlimited options, with the capability to become anything you desire, with God giving you a full and able body and mind, how do you have time to be depressed? You have so much you could do. There's so much that you need to do to be your best self, and you're competing against men like me, and you're finding hours a day to be sad? No wonder you're gonna perpetually lose forever. That's suicide. So how do you find time to do this? It's brutally ineffective. If you construct a mindset that allows you to be as competent as possible, as opposed to feel any different or feel better, then you're gonna naturally come to the conclusions I've come to. You're as competent as possible if you believe you can affect absolutely everything about your life. You're as competent as possible if you believe absolutely everything that's happened to you, whether good or bad, is completely your fault. You're as competent as possible if you believe the bad things that happen to you are gonna allow you to work harder and become even better. When bad things happen to me, the first thing out of my mouth is good. Good. If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit.
There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter important, because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity. The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never gonna get there. Quitters are the worst. And the masculine world is hyper competitive. This is another thing most people don't understand.
Totally agree.
It's hyper competitive out here. All the women want a few men at the top. The Ferrari, you don't want a Ferrari to drive fast. You want a Ferrari because other men want a Ferrari and can't have one. It's hyper competitive. So if you're competing against every other man for every dollar you make, every girl you see, the house you live in, the car you drive, the life you live, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who performs regardless of how they feel if you only compete when you feel like competing. And if life is perfect all the time, you don't appreciate anything. I actually think one of the worst lives you can have is a life where everything goes right all of the time. If you're spoiled to that degree, especially as a man, as soon as you reach any kind of difficulty, you're going to crumble. So I've had to get up a bunch of times, and I do not pray for an easy life. I pray for a difficult life with difficult challenges to solve and being strong enough to handle them. I've never tried to make my life easier. In fact, quite the opposite. If you really want an exceptional life and to do exceptional things, you can't only hope for the positive exceptional. The only reason you appreciate being rich is because you were poor. If you were born rich, you don't appreciate it. The only reason you appreciate being in good health is because you were once sick. When you're sick, you'll do anything to be healthy. If you've never experienced sickness, you don't know what health is. There is no light without dark. Perhaps I'll be a happier person and live a more fulfilled life and enjoy my fantastic benefits that come with wealth if I do go. Perhaps I can have a more positive message and more people will know my name if I do go mad. Perhaps I'm ready to martyr myself. Perhaps I am ready to charge at the gunfire. Perhaps I don't care.
There is no light without dark. I think the ancient Chinese nailed it when they put the yin and yang together. You have the black and the white and they flow into each other, and there's a little bit of white in the black, there's a little bit of good in the evil, and there's a little bit of evil in the good. And if life is perfect all the time, you don't appreciate anything. I actually think one of the worst lives you can have is a life where everything goes right all of the time. If you're spoiled to that degree, especially as a man, as soon as you reach any kind of difficulty, you're going to crumble.
Somebody said to me before, they lack energy and they lack motivation. And I said, nobody lacks energy and motivation. You just focus it in the wrong directions. I would guarantee if you find a person who lacks energy and motivation, he's trying to get girls all day, he's messaging girls on Instagram all day who ignore him. I guarantee he gets road rage when somebody cuts him up. No, you get angry and you have energy and you have motivation when somebody pulls in front of you in traffic or when you see some on Instagram, but you don't have motivation to do anything else. You don't lack energy and motivation. It's pointing in the wrong direction. We all have an innate energy inside of us. We all have a life force, and most people are just directing it in the wrong direction completely. And that's why we're getting decimated in real time. The Matrix has come along and it's distracted us all with bread and circuses. And I refuse to do it. I refuse to sign up to things that don't directly benefit my life or benefit the future for my children. I don't think if a sports team wins, it's going to benefit the future for my children. And I don't think if I jump up and down like a ketamine taking peasant in a concert, it's going to benefit my children.
You have 10 years left to save your bloodline from eternal slavery, and you lack motivation? You are born to lose, sir. You are a loser. All of your ancestors who fought saber-toothed tigers should have just laid down and died because they fought their best for you to be born so you can jack off to Pornhub during the last few years where you stand a chance to save your last name from eternal serfdom. You deserve to be born. The last thing you should lack in the mess of the world today is motivation, because you are running out of time. And I'm telling you, as a rich man who made it out, I can see the gap is closing. I can see it. So you should certainly see it. I'm up in the clouds, looking down on the hole closing in. You're down below, looking up, watching it close, and you lack motivation to build a ladder. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow. Maybe government will save me. Maybe if I vote for the liberals, they'll give me money. Slave minds, clowns, fools. The last thing you should lack in the world today is motivation, because truly people are running out of time.
When you want to explore all the levels on the map of life, you don't just want all the levels at the top. See, this is the mistake most people make. They sit there in a normal life and they dream of being rich and going on nice vacations and dream of all the nice things. They don't dream of all the bad things. They think they can have all the light with none of the dark. That's not how it works. The only reason you appreciate being rich is because you were poor. If you were born rich, you don't appreciate it. The only reason you appreciate being in good health is because you were once sick. When you're sick, you'll do anything to be healthy. If you've never experienced sickness, you don't know what health is. There is no light without dark.
So I've had to get up a bunch of times, and I do not pray for an easy life. I pray for a difficult life with difficult challenges to solve and being strong enough to handle them. I've never tried to make my life easier. In fact, quite the opposite. And I think that life is going to continue along this way. If you really want an exceptional life and to do exceptional things, you can't only hope for the positive exceptional. So if you want the highs, you have to accept the lows. And I want the highs. I want to make sure my human experience is as varied as possible. So I've had to get up thousands of times, and I'm sure I'll have to get up thousands of times more, but I know me as a person, and I know I'll never stay down. So I'm not afraid.
Well, I think that envy is designed to motivate, but the Matrix has taken envy and it's corrupted it. So I've always been, I've told this story on a podcast before, but I've been an envious person. I've told this story because it was so pertinent to me about how most people don't care. I was walking to school. I was walking to sixth form college in Lugan. I was 16, 17 years old. And I used to have to walk about an hour each day to school, and it was raining, and I was walking. And I was walking with three of my friends, and a Ferrari, it was an F430, I think, pulled up at the...
That was my first Ferrari.
Yeah. Pulled up at the lights, made a bunch of noise, and I was standing there, and I watched it, and then the light went green, and he just tore off. I said to my friends, I was like, bro, how do we get Ferraris? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, my mom is on a council estate, single mother. She raises 3 kids on 300 pounds a month. We can barely afford food. He has 200 grand for a car. Liquid for a car. Something is broken. None of the teachers at school have Ferraris. None of our university professors have Ferrari. No one else I know has a Ferrari. What do we have to do to break the matrix and find the money? This is all a lie. I want a Ferrari. And my friends were like, don't know. That's why I have Ferrari friends. Well, no, that's why I have Ferraris and they don't. That's why I now have 33 Ferraris. Because I was envious. I was envious of this man. Most people don't care.
But you turned envy into learning how to figure it out.
Well, I turned envy into anger and anger. But what we have people doing now, because they don't believe in themselves, because the matrix has dampened their soul, when they feel envious, because they want to level the playing field, which is all envy is. Instead of trying to elevate themselves, they try and drag others down. So when people look at my life and they're envious of me, what they should say is, he's truly from the most humble possible socioeconomic beginning. He is a person of color, from a council estate, a single mother household. He's at the bottom, and he made it up to the highest echelons. He's on the phone with Elon Musk and his ability. He can do it, I can do it. But they don't believe in themselves, so what they do instead is, well, I want to level the playing field, so I gotta drag him down. So envy, when you're trying to drag others down, is actually, it's just laziness. Because you feel envious, but you don't have enough fire about yourself to go out there and attack the world and equal the playing field with victory. So you want to equal the playing field by dragging someone else down. It's just laziness, lazy people.
If you know good men, all they want to do is, most of the time, is work. What men who are good want to do most of the time is some version of work. Training, making money, organizing their life, getting their car clean, whatever. It's a degree of work. Women love fun. Women want fun all the time. And fun is where all the haramities appear. It's where all the negative orgons appear. You're only going to get in a fight if you're going out trying to have fun. You're all like drugs and rape charges and physical violence and assassination. This all is linked to fun.
Yeah.
If you want fun, you're dragging all this shit into your life. Wasting
getting
money.
drunk.
Yeah. If you want to just work, you can avoid a lot of bad things. Someone goes, "Do you want to go out?" I'm like, "No. You can go. Here's the address. My team will take you. Have a great time. Go get a bunch of bitches. Go pop balls. Go do." I'm gonna sit here on my computer. I'm boring, but I guess it generates millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and millions of dollars. So if you have goals you want to achieve, I ask you, what people do you have around you? What network do you have around you of people you can sit down with and they are competent and they're not lazy and they're not stupid and they're not self-interested and they believe in the greater cause, where you can work as a fraternity to achieve said goals? How are we going to do this? We now want to do this. How shall we do it? And we got it done.
This is what's another thing that's amazing to me about motivation. I don't feel motivated. Newsflash, neither do I sometimes. You're not gonna always feel like doing it. You have to do it anyway because it's your duty to do it because you don't want to be a fucking loser. That's the whole point. If you felt like doing it all the time, then there would be no magic to it. The magic is that you do it regardless of how you feel. What do you mean you need motivation? You don't need motivation. You have a duty to not be a loser anymore because the hole in the sky is closing. Am I hard on myself? Yes. Does that benefit me? I believe so. I'm hard on myself because life is hard. I think
Could life be easier if you thought life was easy? Because isn't life what you see, not what it is?
What's the point in having an easy life? Why would I want an easy life? If someone were to say to me, "Do you want an easy life?" I'd say, that sounds boring. I mean, did Genghis Khan want an easy life? Did Alexander the Great want an easy life? Did any of the men you can remember from history, any of the ones that actually matter, ever want an easy life? If I meet a man and he says, "I want an easy life, I just want a stress-free life," I look at him and think, "You're born to lose. You're born to lose, sir. You can have your stress-free life, and you can serve me my latte, and you can fuck off. Because you're not made to, life is war. And it's gonna be stressful. And
Life isn't always.
Of course it is. Life is war. Every single aspect of life is war. Not losing your temper in traffic on your way to a podcast is war. Trying to get a girl that the other guy wants is war. Trying to buy a Ferrari that everybody else can't afford is war. Trading is war. Fighting is war. Life is war. I see war everywhere. When I see a big, beautiful oak tree, I don't see a big, beautiful oak tree. I see a tree that destroyed all the saplings around it and crushed them mercilessly. It's war. Life is war.
That's why I'm gearing up for war so heavily, because this war, when people ask me why I don't try and avoid it, I don't think most people understand that this war is coming for everyone. It can't be avoided. You're either going to become someone like me who's fighting against it, the counterculture, or you're going to buy into it and be a victim of it.
I don't think any man who wakes up and accepts the garbage that the Matrix tells them, that yeah, it's okay to be depressed, like we just talked about, yeah, you should be running around doing perkies and Adderall and consuming porn and sleeping with a bunch of hoes, and yeah, go to school and get an education and get in debt, and then go get a mortgage and get in debt, and then 9 to 5 and just slave away, and you'll be retired when you're 74, it's gonna be fine. All the things they push, all the standardized mechanisms that a man's supposed to live his life by, I believe lead to crippling depression and sadness anyway. I don't think that makes anyone happy.
Let me see. Dude, how do you have so much energy?
Because I don't waste my life force. I haven't been to any stupid concerts. I don't take any stupid drugs. I'm not smoking weed like an idiot. I'm not cheering for a sports team. All of my life force is inside of me so I can master the 7 styles of Aikido and tell the conservatives they're fucking dorks.
Nerds.
That's why they're all nerds. They're nerds. I'm full of life force. I'm the man who will struggle to the end. I'm that guy. If an alligator were to get hold of me, not only would I snap its neck, but let's imagine 20 alligators got hold of me and they got lucky and somehow managed to decimate me until the last second where I lost consciousness, I would be snapping necks of alligators. To the last second, I refuse to die. I'm that guy. I don't waste an ounce of my life force on anything that's unimportant. Ever. So I refuse to be distracted. The Matrix wants to distract me. They've identified me. They're like, Andrew Tate is a threat. He's full of power, and he believes in God, and he's a slick talker, and he motivates people, and he has a bunch of money, and he's big and strong and tall and handsome and charming and interesting. He's got a Long Johnson. We have to distract this man. We have to give him something he's interested in outside of fighting the Matrix. And they're trying to come at me with all these beauty queens and these sponsorship contracts, and I'm resisting it all. No. I have a mission, and I'm on the mission. We're talking to the people. It must be animated. We have a job to do. We must let the people at home know that enslavement's coming for their entire life and their bloodline unless they resist. Stop watching the fucking Super Bowl. Stop going to stupid concerts, and instead be motivated about your family's future.
You're gonna feel happy as a man when you feel respected and needed. You need a purpose. People need to need you alive. If you're the kind of man who everyone's life can function perfectly fine if you get struck by lightning, then you're not going to feel happy. You're going to feel happy when you realize that people need you. And for them to need you, you have to be useful and you have to be competent. And whether that's children or your girlfriend or your parents or anyone else who cares about you, I think living for other people is one of the most beautiful things a man can do because it gives you a purpose, a higher purpose. And most of the men out there who live normal lives do exactly that. Why do they work jobs? They work jobs for other people. They don't do it for themselves.
Yeah.
They don't even keep most of the money. It goes on the kid, the wife, the house, and they're taking care of others. And that's a masculine imperative God has instilled in us, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think if you're going to do that, you may as well do it for your own offspring. Who else are you doing it for?
My favorite food is pride. I do, and I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I love when my woman comes to me and goes, you know what? You just fix everything. They had you in jail. You were supposed to be done. They're lying about you all over the MSN. They're saying you're a human trafficker. They stole all your money. They froze all your banks. Why am I on a jet with roses? Because I'm the top G. That's why. Because I'm that guy. She's like, you've just never failed. I've never seen you fail. I said, correct. I do not fail.
So when I see somebody who doesn't have what they want, I know they haven't tried their hardest. And that's a constant universal fact. I've never seen somebody truly dedicate themselves to anything and fail. I've never seen anybody truly try and fail in history, ever.
So I wake up and go, let me do the math. If I never worked again, I could spend $422,000 a day for this. I have all the cars. Do I need to go? You know, maybe I'll have a coffee. Let me try and chill out. And within 22 minutes, I'm out. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do. And I can't stop myself working as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't. It blows my mind. Which is why the winners are winners and the losers are losers. Losers do a little bit of work and rest. Winners work as hard as possible and worry they're not working hard enough. It's just a separation of personality types. And it's almost like you can't save these people.
So am I hard on myself? Yes. Will that change? No. Life is war. Life is hard. You're supposed to be hard on yourself. Perhaps most men would benefit from being a lot harder on themselves. I think I see a lot of men coming up with a lot of excuses for permanent failure. I see it all the time. Why? I can't pay my bills. Okay, cool. Why? Oh, you know, because it's hard. It's all just sympathy bull. I don't want to hear it. It's garbage. It's hard. It's hard for everybody, and you're gonna have to just be harder on yourself and pull it off, or fail. And don't talk to me.
Bro, I don't know what to say. I don't want to come across as a psychopath, but It's like life is difficult.
I made this decision to be this man, and I understood exactly what it comes with. And a lot of people at the bottom see all of the benefits. They see our cars, see the private jets, they see the girls, they see the status, and they want all of that, but they don't want the negatives, and that's why they're never going to get it.
Yep.
Because on your way up, you're going to start getting hit with the negatives, you're going to be derailed. There's no way to get to the top without dealing with monumental levels of stress. I often say the reason a lot of people don't have the things they want is they couldn't handle the things they want. They couldn't handle the life that is required to get the things they want. They simply would get anywhere near it and start to panic and pussy out and just go on holiday and hide on a beach and delete their social media.
Even comments.
Bro, mean comments about street problems. You think I give a about mean comments from some anal? It's difficult for me to put into words how much I don't care. But there's people out there that do care.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh, I want to be like Top G, but you can't handle a comment on the internet. Bro, these people are born to lose. So you have to decide, you need to look in the mirror and really make a decision, because I think perhaps if you want to build a life, choosing your life path and knowing which life path you want to go down is going to allow you to be the most effective in the construction of that life. If you say, I can't handle that stress, I want to be somewhere in the middle, then accept it, accept the good and bad that comes with that, accept the kind of life you want to build and go do it. But don't sit there and say, I want to be Top G, I want to live this great life, and you're not prepared for war.
So I said this even to the girl I was dating. I said, you're happy all the time. And I love that. Because I'm stressed. And I'm not complaining about being stressed. I think the masculine role is to wake up stressed. I wake up stressed. I wake up and I've got a bunch to do, a bunch of people to talk to, a bunch of money to make, etc. I'm stressed. I'm not miserable, but I'm certainly concerned all of the time. I'm focused all of the time. I'm always busy. I have a lot going on. I'm never relaxed. I'm never at peace. That's not who I am as a person. I think that you're supposed to be stressed, but I actually love feeling stressed. I do best when I'm
pushes
stressed.
you.
I've had 87 professional fights. For about 3 of those fights, for some reason, I wasn't nervous, and it really bothered me. So why am I not nervous? I like feeling nervous. I like being stressed. I fight better. I react quicker. Have you ever been jumped? Like, you get scared, someone jumps out at you? That's when you're the fastest you've ever been.
Yep.
So I think stress is a fantastic motivator. It's a beautiful thing. And my stress comes from the fact that I don't have enough. But is it for me, or is it for just being able to care about all the people I care about?
If you don't have the mental control to force yourself to do push-ups, or force yourself to be happy and distract yourself with something asinine, or force yourself to change your own thoughts, you're going to sit there in a cycle of depression and sadness.
I think one of the only things in life you truly have control over is your state of mind. You can't even control if your heart keeps beating. It can stop anytime it wants. You can't control the weather. You can't control if the police bust your door down. You can't control if the Matrix decides to coordinate all of the media in the world to say you're something you're not. You don't have control over much, but you do have control over your state of mind and how you react to things. And I see God in all things. I see God in all outcomes and all situations, and I believe that He is the best of planners, and He is giving us tests for us to learn and grow. And I never allow my state of mind to betray me. I've never lost control of my head. I've never felt depressed. I've never felt sad. I've never felt sorry for myself. I've never been able to get rid of a thought I didn't want to get rid of. And I think that we live inside of our own minds, and as long as you control your mind, you get to control your reality. So I don't think I've ever lost control. And I don't think I ever will lose control. No matter what happens to me, I'll always control my mind and control how I view it. And I view all things as a positive, no matter how negative they seem. I see the positive in everything, and I see the lesson in everything, and I see God in everything. So for that reason, I will confidently state I've never lost control, because all that we have is our state of mind, and I own mine.
I have something I sent in my email recently. I said, you could give the average man a brand new Ferrari and a road map and a coffee and a full tank of gas and tell him the destination, success. And halfway along the drive, he'll quit. How well you set it up for people. One more. I've given you a Ferrari, a full tank of gas. I've given you the latte. I've given you a road map. I've given you a hot girl to sit next to you and play songs, do selfies. I've given you everything. Just drive the car. No, yeah, it's far. I don't have motivation. You're a loser. You are a loser. If you do not win, you lose. What do you call someone who loses? A loser. The gap is closing. The elites hate you. You no longer have sexual consent. A permanent criminal in the eyes of the law. They're here to decimate you and your entire bloodline. You're 22 at the height of your capabilities, the height of your energy. You heal like Wolverine. It is Friday. Are you making money? What are you doing? Oh, there's this band. I really want to see this band. I guess you just deserve to lose, friend. I guess you just need it. And I don't feel sorry for you. I guess you're just a dummy. And that's how I feel. So imagine how the elites feel. We're scum to these people. We are. I'm not a rich man. I'm just a poor man with loads of money. I'm from a Luton, Kansas. I wear diamond watches, bro. You understand?
Yeah,
I'm just a poor man with billions of dollars. But it's scary when you start to understand how all these things really work. And I don't think the average man at home understands this. And if you start to understand it all, the last thing you will lack is motivation. How can you lack motivation? How can an antelope in the jaws of a tiger say, I lack motivation? I'm tired. I'm horny, I want to jerk off. Bro, they're ripping out your throat in real time, you're bleeding out. Fight back.
Through the strength to drive through that commitment when it gets hard. And it is going to get hard and you're going to want to quit sometimes, but it'll be colored by who you are and more who you want to be. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic? Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. So now we just got to wait for y'all to see. I'm motivated by fear.
Fear.
You know?
Fear of what?
That fear of fear. I hate being scared to do something. And I think what developed in my early days was the attitude that I started attacking things that I was scared of. I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be, you know. And there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice, like you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know. So for me, I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want.
And, you know, if you're going to be here, then there's a necessity to make a difference.
I feel very strongly that we are who we choose to be.
As a child, my parents always told me you could be whatever you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do. And, you know, that office, that position, the highest office on the face of the earth, it was something I heard my parents saying it, but I didn't totally believe it. Yet I went out in the world and I carried myself and I held my head high and I stood there and I looked people in their eyes and I talked to people as if I was deserving of everything that this planet has to offer.
This one year, my father had his shop and he decided for whatever reason that he wanted a new wall on the front of his shop. So he tore down probably about 16 feet high and probably about 30 feet long. He just completely tore the wall down, and my brother and I had to dig a 6-foot hole. We were mixing the concrete by hand. We were building this wall for a year and a half. Every day after school, we would come and mixing concrete, putting it in the hole, doing it, and it was just myself and my little brother. And I remember standing back, looking at that wall, saying, there's going to be a hole here forever. A year and a half later, we laid the final brick. And my father stood back and he looked at me and my brother and said, don't y'all never tell me that you can't do something. And walked into the shop. And I learned very young, you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day. Soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. We didn't grow up with the sense that where we were was where we were going to be. You know, we grew up with the sense that where we were almost didn't matter because we were becoming something greater.
The greatest thing in my career has been the constant commitment to putting something in the world of value, not putting something in the world that makes me look hot, you know. So I think as long as you can stay focused on delivering your art and delivering yourself and delivering your energy and delivering your ideas for the world to be better.
Difference between depression and joy, right? And I think it's purpose, right? It's like when you wake up in the morning and your life means something to somebody other than you, that you have a purpose. If you don't go do the things that you're going to do, people's lives will suffer. And I think that kind of purpose, that like to live in service, not to you, but to live in service to humanity, to live in service to your family, to live in service to your church, to your city, to your country, to the world. Living in service is that, I feel like that is the purest form of joy.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. And I want you to keep in your heart, just know that you can.
You know, somebody once said you can take all the money in the world out of the hands of everybody, out of all the wealthy people in the world who are really successful, give it to other people. It wouldn't take too long, those people would have it back in their hands. It's not because they're manipulative, it's because they have a standard.
The reason people don't put themselves in a position to fail, the reason people aren't patient, is they value other people's opinions too much.
You have to monitor your self-talk. Monitor your self-talk. If you go around tell people, oh, I have a horrible memory, I'm not smart enough, I'm getting too old, fill in the blank.
Take those 3 magic words and live them. Raise your standard.
If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them.
You gotta be willing to do it afraid. See, you might be waiting for the fear to stop. I should leap afraid.
You chose to withdraw because you were afraid. You're actually tougher than you think. You never knew that, and maybe you didn't want to take on the responsibility.
People are rewarded in public for what they've practiced for years in private.
Stand guard to your mind, because your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk. Your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk.
I'd rather die leaping than on the edge figuring out how to get the courage to leap.
Okay, I'm gonna go make this happen. I'm gonna go make this much money. I'm gonna transform my kids. I'm gonna create the ultimate relationship in my life. I'm gonna transform my body, whatever it is. And then you don't have strong enough reasons and you don't use it. You don't follow through. It's because you didn't back up your standards with what makes those standards real, and that's rituals.
You constantly remind yourself, after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got to sing, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success.
So many times we're waiting. I'm waiting.
8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. You will fail your way to success. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success.
What's the standard they hold themselves to? And then what are all those little rituals that add up? Because think about it. Success and failure are not giant events. They don't just show up. You don't just suddenly become successful or suddenly have this cataclysmic event that makes you fail. It may look that way, but failure comes from all the little things.
You're just kind of waiting. You're waiting to get everything in order. You're waiting so that everything is in you, it's together. You're waiting to not be afraid. You're waiting to have the courage. You're waiting to have all the money. You're waiting.
You've got 5 seconds, and that's it. Today, 5 seconds gone. Talk yourself out of it.
It's failure to make the call. It's failure to check the books. It's failure to say, I'm sorry. All the results in your life are coming from your rituals. Rituals define us.
Knowing that you're never going to feel like doing all the work that it takes to have this business be everything that it possibly could.
And all those little failures day after day come together until one day some cataclysmic event happens and you blame that. That event happened because you missed all the little stuff.
And when you want to do it right and you want to wait till you're not afraid and you want to wait till you have it all together, oh, you made it about you. Again. See, Nelson Mandela did it. He just did it not knowing if it were right. Mahatma Gandhi just did it not knowing if it were right. Mother Teresa just did it not looking for affirmation or confirmation. Is this right? Martin Luther King did it not even knowing if it would happen before his life ended. What are you waiting on? Are you willing to do it afraid? Are you willing to do it knowing that you got so much work to do to get it better, to get it more perfect, but are you willing to do it inside your imperfection? Do you realize that in your imperfection, you're perfect for the job?
Little bite-sized steps, little things you do each day that after you do them, you get so much momentum that it's easy to succeed. You're not overwhelmed. You have these victory day after day after day on little things.
The brain is going to screw you over. The brain is going to go into autopilot. The brain is going to tell you it doesn't feel like doing things.
Raise your standard.
From the moment that you have the idea, from the second you have that idea, you've only got 5 seconds to take action. Otherwise, it's gone. There's only one rule when it comes to productivity. There's only one rule when it comes to success. There's only one rule to getting everything you've ever wanted. And here it is. You're never going to feel like it. Ever. In any area of your life that you don't have what you want, whether it's the amount of money, the amount of people on your team, the amount of sales, the amount of trips for your family, if you only did the things that you don't feel like doing, you'd have everything you've ever wanted.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek.
You have these victory day after day after day on little things. If you went through Ultimate Edge, I'm sure you learned about the hour of power or the 15 minutes to be able to be fulfilled or 30 minutes to thrive, where you literally just condition your body and emotion with a couple little rituals. So it doesn't matter what's going on in your world. You feel that strength and it's not fake. It's not some pump up. It's coming from inside you and it works. Rituals define us.
It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish.
You just have to do things that you never think you're going to have to do in order to survive and get through it.
When you're going through hell, don't stop. Don't pitch a tent in hell. Don't build a Holiday Inn in hell.
It takes as long as it takes. I hate to say that. You can go to the gym for 9 hours, but you won't get into shape. But if you go to the gym every day for 20 minutes, you will get into shape. But the problem is I don't know how long it takes. It'll be a little quicker for some, a little slower for others. And so there's no app for trust. There's no app for that. This is a human condition, and we have to do the things that are right for human beings. And you won't build trust with everybody on the team at the same pace. Some will be quicker and some will be slower. How long does it take to make a friend? I don't know. I just know that if you do the right thing, you will make a friend.
You gotta get up, you gotta get out. The amount of time you spend outside your proximity or location where you sleep gives you a better chance of being successful. So get up, get out. Go meet the world head on, folks, no matter how bad it is.
I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people, 99% of people disagree with me. Everybody says follow your passions. I say that's bullshit, right? I say follow your efforts. It's amazing how we're all passionate about things. We are all passionate about something, helping veterans, helping this organization, helping this group. That's great. But no matter what, it all nets out to where do you put your time? Because when people put in their time, you get better at things. And when you get better at something, you get good at something, then you have a chance to be great at something. And you know what I've learned? Nobody ever quits anything they're great at. And once you get great at it, it's amazing how passionate you become about it. Follow your efforts.
You are the architect of tomorrow.
Sometimes, in order to stay on our priority pathway, you got to say no.
Got to say no.
So I've really become a master of saying that's just not working for me. But in years past, I was too cluttered.
So every single organization on the planet, even our own careers, always function on the same 3 levels. What we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Everybody knows what they do. These are the products we sell, the services we offer. Some know how they do it. These are the things we call our unique selling propositions, or our differentiating value propositions, whatever, the things that we think make us stand out from the crowd. But very, very few people and very, very few organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make money, that's a result. By why, I mean what is your purpose, what is your cause, what is your belief? Why does your company exist? Why did you get out of bed this morning? And why should anyone care? And what I learned is that organizations or leaders that start by telling you what they do are less able to inspire people to do business with them, inspire loyalty, where those who start with why, whether it's Steve Jobs or Mahatma Gandhi, are able to command loyalty and are able to innovate in ways that others cannot. And the reason I say that every company functions this way is because the model is not based on highfalutin management theory, it's based on the biology of human decision making. This is how the brain works. That when you start with why, it talks to the part of the brain that is responsible for decision making and feelings, like trust and loyalty, but it's not responsible for language, which is why it's hard to put into words.
Get up and get out. Go meet the world head on. Go meet whatever it is, okay? You got to make up to somebody. You got to apologize for something you've done. You got to make up the damage of years of neglect and maybe betrayal. And look, I've done all that. I've had all those things where I screwed up over and over and over again. My reputation sucked. I was between the ages of 15 and 25 years old. It was like I was doing everything I could just to damage my reputation. Okay, if it made me look bad, I did it. So here today, I'm gonna spend 10 days, 14 days, something like that, up here with that view. You can fix anything. I'm proof that you can fix anything. Anything can be fixed. Anything can be fixed, but you gotta fix it. You gotta fix it. You can't just sweep it under the old rug. You gotta fix it. You gotta clean up the damage. You gotta pay the price. Clean up your debts. Do what you say you're gonna do. Become the most dependable person in your space. Become the go-to person. Oh, I can put that person on stage and know exactly what they're gonna get for me. I can put that person in the game and I know what play they're gonna run. I can put that person on the floor and I know they're gonna get it done. Be the go-to person.
You know, those first couple months, I remember thinking to myself, I'm in business 2 months now. You know, I remember getting to the point where I had $15,000 in sales, probably 6 months into the company, and I'm still living in the shithole and thinking, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And along the way, it was lots of trial and error. You know, there were things that were new to me, things that were terrifying to me, things that I would break out into a sweat. But I always remember going into my customers and just trying to be brutally honest and say to them, if I can help you, right? If I can bring value, if I can make your company more competitive, more profitable, will you work with me? And you don't have to put money, I'll do the work to prove it. And if I get it done, then we'll figure it all out, or they agree to a price and then they'll pay it at that point. And one by one, I just kept on making customers happy and lost some, for every one I lost, picked up 3. And I was so nervous about the whole thing that you know, I couldn't imagine slowing down, you know. And so people talk about, you know, life, family, balance. I had none. I mean, I literally remember dating some girl, and this is the truth. And it was like, we'd been dating a couple years, like, Mark, you're so into your work. I mean, I want to pick a fence, I want a house, I want kids. You know, I mean, it's me or your job. And I was like, or me or your company. And I was like, what's your name again?
I'm 60 years old, and everybody who works for me is younger than me, and they'll tell you, I'll work you up under the table.
Vision is an internal thing, right? It is the world that you want to live in, right? Jobs was the rebel, and he always was against big business. All the visionaries that we know have some sort of personal experience and imagine a world that is different to the one they live in now, and will use their businesses to help build that world. That doesn't mean they're the only ones doing it. But what makes them a leader is they're the one leading towards that place, right? So vision has to come from you. If you're the founder of a company, your business is not the only way you do it. What if you quit your business and start another one? It doesn't matter. They should all be contributing towards this vision. And you're not the only one doing it, but if you're the one preaching it and you're using your company to advance it, that makes you the leader. That's why everybody copies you. But it's not about anticipating the market trend, which is an interest thing you're asking me. It's got to start with values. The interest comes second.
If you're going to make mistakes in your life, make them fast, right? If you're going to lose a deal, make them lose the deal fast. If you're not going to make any money on a deal, make sure the deal's quick.
There's part of you that either wants to create a business or you obviously already have created a business. The hardest part is taking that first step, right? There's always that line, like I was talking about earlier, that you have to take a step past. But the thing, people always say, well, you know, you're not afraid to start a business. Why aren't you? It's terrifying, or, you know, it scares me to do it. And my attitude has always been, if you're prepared, it's not a risk, right? Bobby Knight, who was the coach at Indiana University, used to say, everybody's got the will to win, but it's only those with the will to prepare that do win. And the same applies to business. We've all seen our friends go out there and just wing it. You know, it's my passion. We're all passionate about something. I'm passionate about basketball. Doesn't make me an NBA player, right? It's not just about passion. It's not just about saying I'm doing it. It's not even about incorporating. It's not about the idea. It's about, are you prepared and are you willing to do the work?
You got to quit. You got to quit saying nonsensical stuff like, you know, I'm happy where I'm at, and we're good. We're all good. You know,
Business is good.
Everything's good. I'm better off than
Yeah.
somebody in that. You got to quit comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
You got to quit talking like the middle class.
Yeah.
Like you've somehow arrived because somebody in Iran is suffering.
Yeah.
You know, you're good until you're not. There's nobody watching that gives enough money to charity.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody watching should be able to give $1 million a year to charity, but you can't. You know why you can't? You would if you could, but you can't because you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't produce enough, because by the way, it's not your money anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody
It's just a
else
game.
gave you the money,
Yeah.
and you pass it on. Most of you are like, I'm really charitable, I'm really good, but you never do enough. Why? Because you never had enough. Because you didn't produce enough, because you didn't work enough, because you didn't expand enough. So I would just say to people, look, have some loftier goals.
You are at your best when you are authentic to your core, and you have to be what you are, not what they call you.
You know, I tend to believe that there's no finality in anything. You know, it's not like, you know, even though our lives are finite, life is infinite. You know, life goes on. And for me, the goal is not to produce something that has an endpoint, but to produce something that has momentum that can live on beyond me.
People tell me all the time, it's hard to get wealthy. It's hard to grind. It's hard to be focused. How do you even do these speeches? It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay broke. It's hard to stay depressed. It's hard to stay governed by anxiety. It's hard to be inconsistent. It's hard not to have daily disciplines. It's hard not to believe in yourself. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to be poor. It's hard. It's all hard. So choose your heart. You either gonna work for it, or you're gonna sit there and let life knock you down and dare you to get back up.
It's hard to practice perseverance. It's hard to be an introvert. It's hard to be an extrovert. Singleness can be difficult. Marriage can be difficult. Raising your children on your own can be difficult. It's hard to wake up early. It's hard to wake up late. But there's a reward on the other side of waking up early. If you wake up late, you've lost too much daylight. What somebody else did before you woke up, now you only have a fraction of the day to get it done. There's a reward on the other side of one pain, and there is regret on the other side of the other pain. And if you're going to win the reward, you're going to have to persevere. You're going to need endurance. You're going to need to be consistent. And on the other end of the pendulum, there is the pain of regret, where you did nothing because you were afraid you would make a mistake. The pain of regret will hurt you. So choose your heart. Make a decision. I want the pain of finishing something. I want the pain of persevering. Give me the pain of forgiving my haters. Give me the pain of forgiving people that tried to kill me. Give me the pain of letting it go. Give me the pain of growth. Give me the pain of acquiring new skill sets and talents. Give me the pain of managing my time well. Give me the pain of waking up early. Give me the pain of praying when I didn't feel like it. Forgiving when I didn't feel like it. Letting go. Give me the pain. I'll take that pain, because on the other side of that pain, there is a reward. Every single day of my life, I'll take reward over regrets. Will you keep sleeping on your potential, or will you wake up and make it happen? Choose your pain today. The anguish, the irritation, the frustration that you feel today will be your strength to leap walls tomorrow, to leap hurdles tomorrow, to champion the day tomorrow. So you gotta turn your pain into progress. You gotta learn how to turn your pain into power.
I can because I'm capable. I will because I'm strong. I must because they're dependent on me. Don't you sit here and act like you've reached all your level of success. No, you have not. You have not begun to see the things that's about to happen to you.
Never ever, never ever, never ever give up on your dream. Listen to me. That mental picture, never let it die out. Never ever let it die out. I don't care how much time passed. I don't care what happens, circumstances, situations. I don't care what defeats, what upsets. I don't care what happens in your life. Listen to me, and listen to me very carefully. You better never, ever give up on your dream. Never let the mental picture, the picture that you painted, listen to me. Whatever you saw, whatever you said you were going to accomplish, whatever you said you were going to do, never ever, I know, repetition deepens the impression. Never ever, never let your dream die.
I can because I can. I will because I'm strong. I can get through any obstacle on my way to my journey. I must, because they count on me.
Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't go pick it back up. There's a dream you left 2-3 years ago. Somebody told you you couldn't do it, and you internalized that foolishness. Stop listening to the haters. Shut them down. Shut them up. You want to shut your haters up? How do you do it? You do it by being successful. You don't do it by falling into their traps, doing what they want you to do, putting your head down. You don't do it by not being successful. Let me tell you what I learned. Nothing succeeds like success. And so pick your dream back up. Pick your goals back up. Kill a noise. Shut them down. And surround yourself with people who will help you, who will speak life into you and not death. People who will speak life into you and help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's your boy E.T. Remember, I don't care nothing about your past, because I got one too. Listen to me, you have the opportunity right now to make the rest of your life the best of your life. You have gone too far. You've invested too much time. You've given too much to quit now. You put too much time into it, too much effort. You cried too many tears, right? You've gone without eating. You have invested too much to walk away at this point, all right? So we all in, baby. Now it's time to get the reward. It's about momentum. You gotta keep it 100. You gotta be true to you. And I'm tired of people emailing me, telling me what somebody told them they can and can't do. Listen to me. The only thing you need to write your book, the only thing you need to do to finish the GED, I'm telling the book now, I'm telling the book. The only thing you need to do to get your 4-year degree, the only thing you need to do to get your master's, the only thing you need to do is get your PhD, and is to believe in your dreams and stop listening to others. You're about to get certain things just because of the effort you put in, the time you put in. You're about to get a reward. Are you hearing me? You're about to get a reward, baby. So don't quit, don't give up. There's some blessings that come in life after regulation. They come in overtime. They come in extra innings. So for some of y'all, you're gonna have to learn to wrestle with it. You're gonna have to learn to fight with it. That's what wrestling means. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna have to put in a little bit more sweat, a little bit more blood, a little bit more tears, but you gotta wrestle with it. I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Meaning that we gonna do this thing all night long. We're gonna do it all night long, but I'm telling you that I'm not gonna let you go until you bless me. But you gotta fight with that thing and tell that thing, you will quit before I quit. You'll give up before I give up. You fight your way through this one, but you do not quit. You do not give up on your merit. Do not quit school. Do not quit on your goal, your dream. You keep going, and not just don't quit. We're not talking about not quitting. We're talking about taking the prize home.
It's time to stay focused. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it.
Pain is temporary. I've been trying to get that into your spirit. I've been trying to get you to celebrate pain. That pain is your friend. That pain is gonna take you to the next level.
Remember, just because something's never been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means we haven't figured out a pathway on how to get it done, and we will get it done.
This is it right here. This is that moment that you got to work. This is that moment when you got to push. There is no weakness in the place of business.
Think about your end goal. Think about what it's going to look like. Picture it in your mind. See yourself already there.
Stop praying that the storm will pass over you and pray to grow through the storm. What you go through, you will grow through.
You simply have to give it everything you have to get it. You need to shut down all negativity and frankly not give a shit what others say and think.
You're gonna do what you've been called to do. You're gonna be what you called to be. You're gonna have, and you're gonna prove to everybody that tried to break you, you're gonna prove them wrong. Everybody that tried to stop you, everybody that tried to kill your dreams, you're gonna prove all of them wrong.
I don't care what the adversity has been, you have two choices. You can be unforgiving, bitter, angry, upset, and be a carrier of grief, or you can choose resilience.
If you truly want to make change, if you truly want that greatness, you got to work hard. You got to dig a little bit deeper. You got to find it.
You want to test my resolve. You want to test my ability to go to the limit. You want to see where his world ends and mine begins. This ain't no fucking game. This is my motherfucking lifestyle, son.
Shut up. You talk entirely too much about your dreams. You talk too much about your goals. Say it once. Say it twice. No more than 3 times and get to work.
You already know what it feels like to quit. to throw in the towel, to sit on the couch? Do you know what it's like to give everything that you have and push and persevere?
You got to make the opportunity happen. You got to be fired up. You got to be hungry for it. You got to have the desire to push yourself.
Are you hearing me? Work, 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 work. Grind, 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 grind.
You should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat. No. You should be a monster. And then you should learn how to control it.
The definition of being aggressive is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. In combat, almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way. The enemy, nature, time, there's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. What it means is you need to make things happen. This is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. And those are things that you can train. There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. And your attitude, you have to go, okay. Little roadblock, cool. How am I going to get through it? How am I going to get around it?
What I need you to do is evaluate yourself today. Evaluate yourself to see where you are in this race of life. Many of you don't even realize that you've been racing to the finish line. This life is a race. Some of you need to be pushed to start running because you've been walking or you haven't been moving for so long. And you don't even know that you're in a race that all of us are competing to win. But it doesn't matter where you finish. It matters that you run after your goals and your dreams. The way to live is to run after your dreams, to run after your goals, and to run after that finish line. There may be things in your life right now that's holding you back from running, but you have to break through those things. They're there to hinder you, but you can't let it force you to stop running. Chase your dreams, chase your goals. I don't know the situation you're in right now, but the situation that you're in is not your future. It's not who you really are. It's not your full potential. The sky's the limit, but it all starts from within. It's all up to you.
You should be a monster.
You have to be hungry for greatness.
Sometimes, like most people, I want to throw in the towel and just give up. Sometimes it just feels like there's just no use. There's just too much ground to cover. I need to get where I need to be. I need to constantly remind myself over and over again, I am not yet where I want to be, but I know I'll get there. I am not where I want to be, but I am so grateful I am not where I used to be. I am talking to those people that are just about to give up, that are just about to lose all hope. I am here, ladies and gentlemen, to cheer you on, to let you know that you, my friends, are going to get there. You are going to get that promotion. You are going to complete that marathon and you are going to run for your life. Whatever you are working towards, you are going to get there. But you got to get crystal clear what it is you want. What it is that you are seeking for, what it is you truly want. You must know. You gotta know that you're gonna get there. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, work like hell. Crack the ground and keep moving. Make the ground shake, crack the world, get it going. Don't let nothing stop you. I am pleading with you. When the rest of the world shuts you down, you got to be the one to stand up, shout out, cry out, stand tall, work hard, dig deep, and go after it. There's nothing gonna stop me. If you didn't make me, you can't break me. If you didn't make the sun come up, you can't stop me. If you didn't make the moon shine at night, you can't stop me. My purpose, my will, my dedication, my motivation is all about doing the business, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I'm about. I'm about that business. I'm about that life. What are you about? I need to constantly remind myself I'm not yet where I want to be, but I know I'll get there. I'm not where I want to be, but I am grateful. I am so grateful that I'm not where I used to be.
It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time to look ourselves in the mirror and come to the resolve that this version of ourself is not going to carry us in the stretch. I've been this version of myself long enough that if I don't change, if I don't do something about this, then I'm gonna find myself bankrupt.
For me to understand, for me to be better, for me to be stronger, I must learn to suffer a little bit. I must learn to struggle a little bit. I cannot reap the rewards of success without understanding about struggles.
Success is not automatic. You don't get things just because you want them. You achieve your goals only when you are disciplined enough to keep showing up when you don't feel like it.
You're gonna put the blood, you're gonna put the sweat, you're gonna put the tears in, you're gonna lose sleep, you're gonna go days without eating, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make the sacrifices necessary to manifest. There are too many people in your life who have left you. There are too many people in your life who have counted you out. There are too many people in your life who have whispered in your ear and said, you'll be worse off without them. Prove them wrong. The truth of the matter is, how are you so emotionally injured, so mentally drained, so physically fatigued that you have allowed your dream, your destiny to take a back seat to this excuse that you don't have what it takes, that you're not smart enough, that you're not tall enough, that you're not wide enough, that you're not deep enough, that you're not connected enough, that you don't know enough people. You keep comparing yourself to that person and this person. When will the excuses stop? When will you see your purpose bigger than your excuse? I don't know your name, but I know you have a dream. I don't know where you're from or where you're listening to me. You may be listening to me in your closet, your bedroom, the gym, the car, the bus, the train, the plane. I don't know where you're going, but I know you are going somewhere. You've got a destination. People that make excuses are not connected to their destination. They don't have an end game. They don't have a goal. You have allowed yourself to become a weak link covered under the blanket of excuses. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that has a dream. And if you made your excuses bigger than your dream, the time is now to apply pressure. It may not be easy, but it's not impossible. This is not a I feel like it today. This is not a I'm motivated for a week. This is an every single day mentality. You may have to work 3 times. You may have to lose sleep. You may have to go to college and raise 5 children and still maintain your marriage and work your side hustle. I don't know what your story is, but if you will keep a no excuse mentality, then the sky is not your limit. The sky is your starting point. This is an every single day mentality. I never get turned off. Every single day, I want my destiny. I want my dream. When somebody is in love with who they've been called to become, what they've been called to fulfill, what they've been destined to do, there is no day off. There are no light. Listen, I'm not a light switch. You can't turn me off. I can never get turned off. Every single day, I'm giving everything I have. That's how big my dream is. And so there's no excuse. There's no pain. There's no dilemma. There are no speed bumps. There's no distraction that can turn me off. I'm not a light switch. You can't turn me off. I want this thing every single day.
For people that feel like they're wasting their time, they're not getting the results they want, what is one thing that they could be doing right now that would turn things around for them?
I think one of the things is the way that we approach time. This is something that almost no one talks about anymore. So I feel like you may be behind. You may actually be behind your destiny right now. Like maybe you're not on pace. In fact, I think most people watching this, listening, will say, I am behind on achieving my destiny. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I feel like it's slipping. I feel like I'm behind. So you better figure out time differently. And you can bend and manipulate time to your advantage. And so I, about 25 years ago, went, I'm not the most talented. I'm not the smartest, and I'm really not. I don't come from, a whole track record of success, right? I don't have the perfect upbringing. How in the world am I gonna win? I gotta do things other people aren't willing to do, and I gotta fix the way I look at time. The most stupid, antiquated, ridiculous concept on planet Earth today very well may be that a day is 24 hours. It's so stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever. 24-hour days were contrived when there were no cars. There was no electricity. If I wanted to get you a message, I had to write something down if I could, send it on a horseback, hope you get it. That's insane. Never mind the internet. So what used to take hours, days, weeks, months, years to do can be done now in a millisecond in the internet or on our smartphones. Yet we measure the time the same way that guy did? That's bananas. That is so stupid. And so my days now are from 6 a.m. to noon. That's a day. It's 6 hours. And in that day, some days you just chill. But in that day, I'm gonna get the amount of productivity, faith, working out, fitness, money, business, you name it, in that day. We've all had a morning where we go, I got more done this morning than I have in weeks. Well, why can't you do that every morning? So I measure time. I've compressed and condensed time. I've bent it. My day is 6 a.m. to noon, and I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago. And it's unfair that people have taught you this. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. But what the cool thing is, at the end of day 1, this clock goes off about noon every day, bro, and goes, what did I just get done? What didn't I do? What do I need to be accountable for? What do I need to double my efforts? Just like you do at the end of most days, right? And then the next day is 6 p.m. to midnight. And some of those are just fun days. Sundays I chill, right? But some days they're really super productive. What I've done now is I have changed and manipulated time. I now get 21 days a week. Stack that up over a month, I'm gonna kick your butt. Stack it up over a year, you're toast. Stack it up over 5 years, my entire life is different than it would have been otherwise. And if you do this for about 90 of your traditional days that you think are, you will come back to me and go, that profoundly impacted my life. And here's the other thing that happens. The world responds to you differently when you value your time like that. What is precious is valuable. That's why a diamond or this watch is way more expensive than the piece of paper that's written down there, because it's more scarce. When your time, when you interact with the world, is slightly more scarce, they respond to you as if you're more valuable. So you get more accountability, more productivity, more fun, more joy, and the world flips its response to you. All of a sudden you become more valuable and precious to people when your time is different. And you'll get thousands more days in your life and live a much more blissful and happy life than the person who only gets 24 hours.
I'm not coach right now. I'm your conscience. You're in a fight between will and skill. I say will first because that's where you are. You locked and loaded with skill. You practicing every day, you putting in your work, you buying everything, you making the investment, you living your dream, you walking like your dream, you surrounding yourself around your dream, you got mentors, everything. You putting your work in, you got your skill. Now it's a test of your will. It's a mindset thing you in right now. It's a mindset thing because your challenge ain't moving. Your mountain is not moving. You don't feel like you're making any progress. You're not physically moving when you see everything else around you and other people around you moving. You're not making progress. You're in the test of your will right now because life says it has a little more test for you. You can look at your challenge with skill and it will see it just as that. A challenge. Or you can look at your challenge with will and see it as lunch.
Understand this and listen to me clearly. You may forget this face, you may forget this voice, you may forget who told you, but get your pads out. Don't ever forget these words that I'm about to tell you. If you want to be great in this life, you only have one choice, gentlemen. You only have one choice. You can make choices that just get you remembered, or you can make choices that ultimately make you a legend. If you put as much time into working on winning as you put into thinking about losing, you'd already be a champion. When we gonna get tired of just knowing and seeing successful people and become one of them? Time is out to sit up here and just make these average decisions, make these irrelevant decisions that don't change you, don't change your family, don't change society, don't change your environment, don't change the world. It's time to make decisions that make you a legend. We see it every day. But the only difference, baby, you gonna make a choice to just be remembered, or you gonna make a choice to become a legend. You gotta stop quitting. We gotta stop giving up. All this TGIF, TGIF. It is now TGIA. Thank God I'm alive. When we open our eyes and we're in our right mind, we live as though we really appreciate that opportunity. And every time I see a post, every time I see a tweet, or just anything, I wanna ask the person, why are you thanking God it's Friday? Hello, newsflash. Tomorrow is Saturday, the day after that is Sunday, the day after that is Monday. What are you thanking God it's Friday for? Because you're preparing to quit. You're preparing to stop what you're doing, you're prepared to clock out, you're prepared to go home, and you're in the mental mindset to do nothing. I dare you to get prepared for the challenges of your life by getting rid of comfort. I dare you. I dare you that when you find that job, that if you don't have a ride to work, that you walk, and then when you get there, you take the stairs. I dare you not to check the break, baby. I dare you to work through your lunch. I dare you that when it's hot, that you work faster. When it's cold, you work longer. I dare you to learn something new today that you didn't know yesterday. I dare you to. I dare you to run past that challenge. I dare you to face adversity. I dare you to look at it and say, look, I'm more than this right now. I can handle it. I dare you to look at your obstacles like a mountain. I dare you to stop running from it. I dare you to stop throwing away food because you scared you're gonna eat it at night. I dare you to stop taking the detour because it's a crack house on the corner and it's a liquor store on the street. I dare you to stop running from your addiction. I dare you to stop running from the old you and become the man you know you can become. Mountains aren't gonna move. You gotta climb that bad boy, baby. You cannot get what you want in your life by being comfortable. Comfort is failing us. Many of you are denied your dream and your goal because you have a consistency versus an intensity problem. Consistency is when you do something. Intensity is how you do something. And that's why many of you, no matter what you do, no matter how much you do it, no matter who you looking at, no matter what you read, you gonna be denied because you think that just being consistent at something is gonna let you win. That earns you the right to win. That I'm being denied that corner office. I'm being denied that car. I'm being denied this quality of life. I'm being denied that opportunity, this scholarship. I keep getting cut off the team. You know, if I just keep practicing and I just stay around this team, sooner or later I'll make it. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because consistency does not guarantee you the win. Many of you, as bad as you don't want to accept this, you never gonna win. Because you're not intense enough. And until you get intense to the point that nothing will get in your way, that you will not get in your way, you'll never win.
The reason why you give people so much value is because if you give them so much value, they'll never leave you and they'll always be there for you. And you will never need for anything as long as you give value to people. And so I learned that as I got older. That part really didn't make sense to me at the time, but the money working for you part, and I was like, how do you make your money work for you? Again, all I know is how to go get money. That's all I know. So later on in that, he says wealthy people do 3 things. So we in a cell for about 45 days. Every conversation with him about money and transition was always wealthy people do. So he says, wealthy people, first they get into stocks, then they start a business, and then they get real estate. So when people ask me, how did I get into stocks? It's because I follow that rule. And so my rest of my time in prison, I wanted to be that. I wanted to be a part of that wealthy conversation. And so what happened to me was it started reminding me of being in the streets. Everything about it. And I heard this term one time that said, the real gangsters are on Wall Street. The real gangsters are in the government. And I was like, damn. The reason why people think wealthy people or people with money are sinister is because that's what you kind of taught in the hood. Like you kind of taught like the people who really have money, like they did some wicked shit to get it. They did some backstabbing, cut get it, and you'll never get that, right? And so that same mentality now happens on a lower level, right? The hustling, the dope dealing. So now you think like, yo, I gotta just do sinister to get money. And then the people who are successful in the drug game, they're looking at the people at the top like, damn, I wanna be that. But the people at the bottom will never get a taste of that. And so now we just kind of living off ambition. And so now the people who are in the middle who working, they're like, oh, them people with money, they all crooks. Because being at the bottom teaches you to envy people at the top. Right. It just happens. It's something that brews down there, right? It's kind of like when you cook, I don't know if you had gumbo before, right? But it's kind of when you cook food, right? The base goes to the bottom. And so most people live in that bottom, never knowing how they'll get up there, right?
I remember, so when I was working in the inner cities, I remember having this moment where I was like, wait a second, this is not an intelligence problem. Intelligence is evenly distributed. Like I remember saying to my wife, the next Elon Musk is gonna be found somewhere in Compton. The problem is, he doesn't believe in himself. Yep. And so he's not gonna do anything. And so I became obsessed with this idea that generational poverty is not about money, it's about mindset. Now, it will manifest as money, but it is that, so I remember I had one kid come to me and I was the first person that told him, you can be successful. Like, what the, why do you not think you can be successful? It didn't even make sense to me. And he was like, well, my mom always told me that the world didn't want to see people that look like me succeed. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, even if your mom had good intentions, that is the worst advice ever, because if you think you can't be successful, that will govern the way that you move, right? So Kobe Bryant, people that have listened to me for a while have heard this quote 1,000 times, but boos don't block dunks. The world can hate you all they want, but if you're good enough, think about this. The best basketball players in the world were paid millions of dollars to stop Kobe Bryant from scoring, and the scored 81 points in a single game. 81 points. When you've got 5 people paid millions of dollars actively trying to stop you, and they can't because you've gotten that good. That to me is the game of money. People can not want you to succeed all they want, but if you out-invest them, they can't stop you. So if people are not encouraging you to read, you're not going to read.
What happens is now, no one now believes that it's possible. Once you keep passing that down, you start accepting the lower level. And then there's a few of us or a few people who said, nah, I'm an outlier, yo. Like, I'm about to go for it. And then whatever happens, I'm with it. You feel me? So for me, again, one of the greatest things that happened to me was my mother telling me like, the world is raw and you gotta get how you live. But I also saw my grandmother be a legal entrepreneur. So I saw it from both worlds. So while I'm in prison, I pick up a habit of reading. That was the game changer for me. On the streets, I never had the opportunity to just sit down and read because I'm always trying to survive. In prison, there was no longer a survivor mode there. I started hustling in prison. So I was working in the laundry. And so your clothes don't really get clean. So I found a hustle like, yo, I'll wash your clothes when we do it, but it's $5 or $25 a month. So that gave me a whole another set of money. And then I started being like a numbers dude. How Vegas have the numbers, the betting. I became a numbers guy. So I used to get up in the mornings and watch CNBC. So mind you, people in prison, they love to watch The Young and the Restless. And so I would have to get up before them to watch like Squawk Box, Jim Cramer. And I'd just be like, damn, these motherfuckers get all this money and they not risking their life. Something gotta change for me. Like something gotta change. And so I just started listening to them every day and I started comparing it to the streets. A good business is just like a good hustler. A good business has great product. They have great clientele. A great hustler has a great product. He has consistent clientele. A good business on the stock market has what's called a moat, a competitive edge that keeps his competitors away. A good hustler on the street is gonna have that competitive edge where they be like, nah, yo, I ain't rocking with you. I'm gonna just wait till Trap come back, right? So there's the competitive edge. A good business has a good branding moat, meaning my name is good, right? So a good hustler on the street, yo, Trap got that blue magic. I'm good on you. Like if I can't get Trap, I'm gonna just go try. But Trap got that blue magic, that's what I'm rocking with. Branding mode, right? That's it. A great business on the stock market has more assets, more liquidity than debt. A good hustler on the street is, if you don't learn how to fund your business, if you're operating where all you have is re-up money, you're not gonna last long. So those components reminded me the same. On the stock market, in the world, if a company's paying tariffs, that's equivalent to a dude on the street going pay draft to go hustle in somebody's hood. Like you can't hustle over here unless you pay me draft. It's the same as a tariff. It's the same thing. Yeah. So once I broke the game down to a way that I can understand it, it wasn't about me just being brilliant. It was like, yo, how do I make the game winnable for me? Like once you start understanding the fundamentals, you give yourself power. Because you now understand, like you said, you see how the machine works, right? And so most people look at the machine and marvel and say most people look at the stock market, 98% of the people who I know look at the stock market and say, yo, that's not a game I can play. I'm staying away from it. And so the way it's set up is, the world is set up, well, listen, cool, I don't even want you to play. Just give me your money, I'll play it for you. So when we look at like banks, like we understand that banks don't necessarily work in our favor, right? So banks only give us 0.05% interest on the money we have there. Well, we can get 8% just by putting our money in an index fund. So why would I just sit my money in a bank and let the bank make all the money? Because all they're gonna do is invest the money for you. So they now operating as the plug. They operate now as the man who, I'm gonna front you this, I'm gonna make my money, I'm gonna take the cut, I'm gonna give you just enough to keep coming back. I wanna go to the plug. Who is the plug? The stock market. The relationship with money in my community is, you make money, just enough to pay bills. And so once you get tired of paying bills, you say, you know what? I need to treat myself to something, right? No matter if I gotta go in debt, no matter if I need to treat myself to something to take this misery away. So you treat yourself to something that you can't afford at the time, right? But it makes you feel good in the moment. And so because it makes you feel good, you say, you know what? I'm living. This is a reprieve from everyday struggle. So that's the mindset comes in and say, everybody around me had the same problem. No one represented the solution. So if I don't change something, I'm only going to end up like everybody else I know. Somebody has the solution somewhere. There's too many people out here living the life of their dreams that I'm watching. They know something I don't know. And the only thing that they had was access to a different type of information. In 2010, This is after I'm home from prison now, right? I'm home from prison. I'm back in the streets hustling. Because even though I have the information, I don't have the money, right? And I'm like, well, I gotta get the money. My door gets kicked in 2010. They get 8 pounds of weed, $10,000. Yeah, by the cops. 8 pounds of weed, $10,000, a 223, a 40 with extended clip and a beam, and 100 X pills. So the cop tells me, you ain't learned your lesson. Like, you ain't learned your lesson. And I was like, damn, that was some, right? Like, I got knowledge, I got information, but I still fell victim to the same shit that everybody around me knew. So therefore, the knowledge that I had wasn't powerful because it wasn't applied. So I was fortunate, God bless me. I wound up getting found out guilty because it's called fruit of a poisonous tree. So they kicked in my door, but they didn't have probable cause because they stopped me in my truck, didn't find nothing on me. So they went to my house, kicked the door in with no search warrant. So now everything you find is null and void. So now I get into the robbing game. So now I start robbing dope dealers. And I got in a situation where I was good at it. Me and my partner, God bless his soul. And then one day I almost got killed. And I go to my partner and I say, bro, I'm out. Like, it's a done deal. But when they kicked my door in, something happened. So they took my truck, they took my money, but they didn't mess with my stock account. I said, oh, okay. Start working as an iron worker, building stadiums, building power plants. It's crazy because I was making good money, $2,000 a week. That's good money to some, like, yo, $2,000 a week, yo, that's it. $2,000, $2,500, like, it was amazing. I started saving and investing 70% of my money. I was living bare minimum. I was like, if I'm gonna change, I gotta make like the hard choices. It's hard for people to make sacrifice because you gotta now go against and do without some of the things that gives you that momentary gratification, that simple, that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps you going. Just to go on vacation one time a year, to get these pair of shoes that may cost me $1,000. I know I can't afford them, but I've worked so hard, I need that just to keep giving me something.
You have a phrase, Wall Street looks like us now.
Wall Street looks like us now.
There's another phrase you say, but you should like put that same like stamp on it, is I own that.
I own that.
Because you talk about stocks in a way that sounds so rad, where it's like, you refer to yourself as an owner of the companies.
Yes.
And the thing is, it actually is true. Like you're not playing a linguistic game. It is true. But people don't think about it like that. But it's so much more powerful than having a cool pair of kicks is to say, I own the company that makes those kicks, or I own the company that makes that phone, or, you know, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, works for me. I'm a shareholder, right? It's really, really powerful. Explain that basic idea of ownership for people that might not quite put it together that stocks really are owning that company.
So I actually got that term from Warren Buffett in one of his meetings. I want to say it was the 1995 shareholder meeting, and he said that he owning a stock is owning a percentage of a great business. And so once I understood that concept, I understood that the key to wealth is through ownership. The people who aren't wealthy is because they don't own nothing. You only have your money sitting in cash. If your money is just sitting in cash, realistically, you're becoming poorer every day.
Right, or they own depreciating assets.
And that's what cash is. It's a depreciating asset because the more money they print, the more money that money loses value. So if it's just sitting, it's the reason why the bank wants you to have your money there. So they can take it and use it and invest it so much and be like, hey, it's just sitting, I'm gonna give you 50 cents on whatever you had in there. Right. And so the idea of ownership was, yo, we can just start owning everything that no matter if it's just a stock. Like, that's powerful, because if you can start owning the businesses that you now consume every day, you turn a one-time transaction to a lifetime of profit. And that was major for me, because if I go to the store and buy a pair of Nikes, that's a one-time transaction. In order for me to get something from them again, I gotta come back and buy another pair of Nikes. But if I own the Nike stock, long as I own it, it's a profitable vehicle for me. So that one-time transaction can become a lifetime of profit if I own that business. if I'm gonna buy an Apple, if I know I'm an Apple user, if I know I got the phone, I got the AirPods, I got the MacBook, I got the PC, I excited when Apple's about to drop something, why wouldn't I own it? As much of it as I can, right? Like if I understand that concept, if I know America has one of the biggest trash problems in the world, right? So if I know that Waste Management is a company that's gonna be here forever because we aren't gonna stop throwing things away, why don't I own that company? Because I know everybody throws things away. And so now instead of me getting excited about Apple Lime being around the corner because it's a new phone, I'm like, yo, y'all about to make me some money, right? So when I hear a company like Waste Management has bought 40 acres of disposable land for another landfill, I'm excited about that. And another great thing about the stock market is, for me, it now makes me pay attention to the world. And so now I understand what's going on in the world. I started learning business cycles, market cycles. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now I can understand, yo, this is okay. Things are going out of business. Okay, we're in this cycle. Okay, people are hiring. Okay, we're in expansion cycle. And so now I took an economic class on my own without just understanding the world. And so you start understanding when something is happening in China. Okay, something happening in China, so I own Apple. Apple has 20% of their revenue in China. Okay, they might take a little hit right now. You know what I'm saying? So the stock market helped me start understanding how the world moves, the fundamentals. Knowledge is what gives us leverage in life. It's not about how strong you are. It's about what you can learn. And then how can you actively apply that? I have this acronym called FEAR. Finally exiting average reality, right? And what happens is, until we can overcome the fear, some people actually fear success. Success comes with a lot, right? But until you can overcome that average reality that you're living in, no matter what you're on, once you become comfortable there, it becomes average. Anyone can live in average. Everyone can live in mediocrity, right? Then there's those outliers who consistently push themselves to go to the next level. And the thing about the human mind and the human body, it will go as far as you push it. As long as you believe in it. Like you said, the only belief that matters is, what do you believe you can do? I personally believe that there is nothing I cannot do. And for me, it's all about impact, purpose, fulfillment. Like, the money is a byproduct of everything else. That isn't my focus. My focus is I have a knowledge and information that I know that can change lives. Not just one life, not just like lives. And so the way that you change lives is by consistently learning, finding new ways to put that information out there, being able to open up, being able to be vulnerable, because people need to connect. People connect to knowledge in the way that they can see two things that help people: imagery and vocabulary. So for me, it's always about, how do I attain as much? It's always a challenge for me. How can I attain as much knowledge as I can? Because I love learning, but then how do I take that and be able to now reciprocate it or give it to somebody who may not understand calculus or trigonometry, but if I can give it to them in this way, they can say, oh yeah, I got it. And there's more people that struggled in the world that has become successful. So struggle has to become a language that I struggle. So that's the language I'm great at. So if I can break down things into a struggle language, now I make it the game winnable for everybody.
In this very moment, all you have is all you need.
What would you like to do? What do you believe you've been destined to do?
Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room and focus on you.
You have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective.
If you can see it, you can have it.
I am Clutch. I am the difference maker. I am the game changer. I must work out X amount of times a week. I must forgive. I must evolve. I must become. I must retain. I must grow. I must live. I must evolve. I must go to the next level. I must live in this type of house. I must drive this type of car. Perspective is what changes the game. Stop complaining about the divorce. Stop complaining about the job loss. Are you gonna complain in the face of conflict, or are you gonna seize the opportunity? What if losing your job was the opportunity? What if the divorce is an opportunity? What if the bankruptcy is an opportunity? What if the one you love was an opportunity for you to reconnect with somebody and forgive them?
Something inside of you that says, snap, you gotta get tired of being broke.
I'm talking to that person who grew up without a father. I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing. And so you literally have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's in your head is a dream. The only thing that's in your head is I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill.
You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain.
Goliath! There will be many giants in your life. There will be depression. There will be anxiety. There will be oppression. There will be stress. There will be overwhelm. Will you buckle under the pressure or will you rise to the occasion? You are not dead yet. You may be tired, but you are not dead. You may be broken, but you are not dead. You may be weary, but you are not dead. You have an opportunity to rise above what happened to you. You gotta make it up in your mind that all you have is all you need.
I know. It hasn't been easy. It's time to win.
Consider this your wake-up call.
What most people fail to realize is that pain is inevitable and it is unavoidable. There is no path in life without pain. Whatever it is that you're going after, whoever it is that you've been destined to become, you cannot have it. You will not become it without pain. You will face challenges and difficulties and giants, regardless if you are single, if you are married, if you are a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home father, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're working a 9-to-5, if you're an educator, if you are an athlete, if you are a musician, a singer, a producer, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are doing, pain is inevitable.
If I'm gonna hurt like this, if I'm gonna bleed like this, if I'm gonna cry like this, let me cry because I'm in the best shape of my life. Let me cry because I'm conditioned to weather the uphill war. Let me cry because I'm building my relationship. I'm building my business. I'm building my legacy. Let me cry because it hurt, but there is a reward on the other end of my pain. Let me cry tears because I passed the test, because I gave it everything I had. Choose your heart. Everything in life comes with hardship. Make a decision. At some juncture, you will encounter pain. And the moment that you get acquainted with pain, you get acquainted with hardship, you realize that no matter what you do, no matter how much you study, no matter how much you plan, you will not be able to avoid a measure of pain. I don't care what it is, losing weight, I don't care what it is, a new eating paradigm, a new relationship paradigm, new thoughts, new behaviors. It doesn't matter what you're after, what you're looking to become. If you don't go to the gym, it's gonna hurt you. If you go to the gym, it's gonna hurt you. Your muscles are gonna tear. But on the other side of that pain, there is a reward. There isn't any regret. You won't regret taking care of your body. On the other side of making those healthy decisions, there is a reward. It's the reward of discipline. It's the reward of longevity. It's the reward of influence. It's the reward of power. Do you want results? Do you want a reward? Or do you want regrets? The decision is yours. It's all hard, so choose your heart. Pain is inevitable and it is unavoidable. Pick your pain. Everybody's got a plan until life knocks them out. Because we weren't ready for the pain. And when the pain came, we did not process it. Processing pain is a skill set you've got to acquire. It's a type of currency. If you want the future, if you want next level, if you want tomorrow, if you want to manifest, if you want this thing, I don't care what it is, then you're going to have to get acquainted with pain. The pain of discipline, the pain of growth, the pain of learning, the pain of giving, the pain of forgiving. It all hurts. So pick your pain, choose your heart. Because at some juncture in life, at some corner you're going to turn, you are going to encounter pain. And you've got to process that pain well. Hear me when I say it. Pain is unavoidable. It's hard to let go of the past. It's hard to give sometimes of your time, your talent, and your treasure. It's hard to balance work life. It's hard to acquire new skills. It's hard to be stagnant. It's hard to be a workhorse. It's hard to be lazy. It's hard to learn how to manage and cultivate relationships. It's hard to learn from your experiences. It's hard to turn your mess into your message. It's all hard. It's hard to hold on. It's hard to let go. But there's a reward on the other end of many of these hardships. And you better choose reward or regret. There is always reward and regret attached to every decision that you make. Hope. Hold on. Pain ends. Pain does have an expiration date. And when that pain ends, another one will surface, but you will be strong enough because you endured the current pain well. Everybody wants resurrection, but nobody wants the pain of dying to themselves. There's a pain that hurts you, and there's a pain that changes you. So today, all I want you to do is make a decision to choose your heart.
And then just, it's a tendon. I'm not dealing with anything that's muscular or things that I can control. I can't control a tendon. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I mean, it's a long process. But like, when I went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and you know, they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, you know, it's all right, Dad's gonna be all right. It'll be fine, it'll be all right, it'll be all right, it'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not gonna cripple me. It's not gonna be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm gonna step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. That's the difference between the greats. That's what separates them. When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. Are you hearing me? It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy gone, when you have nothing left. That's when it's showtime. When you find the way out of no way. When you find breath that you don't have. When you find energy that did not exist. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. All the homies texting and calling and trying to make you feel bad about being so focused. It's grind season, homie. It's not about today, it's about the future. You do the work now. Do the work now, and all of this that you could ever want to do for your family, your kids, your loved ones, it's all going to be on a whole nother stratosphere.
I need you to make up in your mind that you're going to trade all self-limitation for absolute breakthrough and abundance in every area of your life. It's your turn. It's your time. You've waited long enough. Opportunity is everywhere. Inches to grow is everywhere. It's right at your fingertips. It's right before your eyes. This is the place where your hunger for change changes everything. Hunger is what's going to get you to this next level. Hunger and commitment. That I'm not just here to contribute to the idea that I can fulfill something, but I am committed, willing to sacrifice everything to fulfill my destiny. I am not defined by the mistakes I've made in my past. I learn from them. Let me tell you something. You've got to stop weaponizing your past. You are allowing your past to eat away at your present. You need to learn the lessons of your mistakes. Forgive yourself and forgive others so you can move forward. You've got a luminous, brilliant, powerful future. It's time to step into it. And now you can use the mistakes that you have made. You can use the memories of the trauma and the people that you have had to forgive to teach someone else how to let go and start living their best life. I need you to say a few things with me. My spirit is renewed. My mind is set free. I am not defined by my past hurts. I forgive those who have hurt me. I will take captive every negative thought and memory, and I will release it from my heart. I welcome a life filled with abundance and positive thoughts. I am not held back by the spirit of offense. I am compassionate with myself. I have patience with myself. I am honest with myself and others. I'm real. I'm raw. I'm straightforward. I am authentically me. I am able to love and I am able to receive love. I am set free because I am able to forgive and move on. I am focused on the present. I am building my future. I am pursuing my destiny. I am excited for the love that God has for me. I am worthy of God's best life for me. I release all mental and emotional baggage. I am becoming day by day, minute by minute, moment by moment, inch by inch, the person that God has destined me to be. Inch by inch. You win by inches. Life is won. You gotta see the inches. You are inches away from the best life that you have ever had. Seize the opportunity. This is the year that I get crystal clear on my values, on my parameters, on my non-negotiables. This is the year that I make an investment in myself. This is the year. Stop tiptoeing, stop straddling the fence, stop dating the idea that you could be successful. You keep dating it, you keep thinking about it, you keep talking about it. It is possible to fully commit yourself to something. It is possible to accomplish what you see in your head, to hold it in your hand. It is possible. The question is, can you give your all? We have conditioned ourselves to give 50%, 60%. We have normalized not putting all in. We have normalized not giving something our all. Why? Because we're afraid we're gonna lose, because we're afraid we're gonna be rejected, because we're afraid we're gonna give our all and it still won't be enough. The time is now. It's time. It's time to break through the disempowering, limited belief systems that we've carried our whole life. There is a future that I desire. I believe in the power of my future. And as much as life has tried to amputate my spirit, I refuse to go down. I refuse to stop here. I refuse to let go. I refuse to give in. I refuse to keep living at 50%. This is my year that I give everything I have. You've got the strategy. You've done your homework. You've got the belief system. Now just put it in. Stop doubting yourself. You gotta learn to practice self-compassion and remember your past achievements. If you're gonna remember anything from the past, remember how you overcame something. Stop trying to compare yourself to other people. Be mindful of how you're thinking. Spend more time with people that believe in your dream. Spend more time with people that are life-giving and life-changing. You gotta learn how to find your validation from within, that you don't need anybody to validate you, to affirm you, to believe you. First, it starts with you. If I believe in me, then everybody else comes after that. This is not the year that I play around with my life. This is not the year that I sit and wait for destiny to hunt me down. I will hunt everything down that belongs to me. Life is not just a game of attraction. It is a game of hunting. It is a game of evolving to become the best version of yourself, putting in the work. I want to get crystal clear on my level 1 priorities. A wise man once said that our dreams never grow wings in the stillness of the night. They take shape by the moves we make. That failure has come again and again, as sure as night follows the day. But there is no wisdom in our mistakes unless we avoid repeating them. And while our future may inspire us, today will define us. This is your moment to decide. Will you continue on living the life that you have lived? Or will you unlock your greatest potential? If you can hear my voice, drop it in the comments. I'm all in. I'm all in. Come on, I'm all in. Comment below. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. This is the year I give it everything I have. This is the year I stop complaining about the past. This is the year that I don't make excuses. This is the year that I embrace my non-negotiables. This is the year that if I see it in my head, I can hold it in my hand. Stop devaluing your past achievements. There are things that you have accomplished. There are things that you have overcome. People have neglected you. People have overlooked you. People have underrated you, and you overcame it. Life has hit you as hard as it could, and you're still alive, and you can hear my voice, and you're listening to me now. Don't devalue that. That is an achievement. That is a win. I know that you've got this broad stroke vision and that you see the end game, but there are things along the way that we accomplish that we cannot ignore. I am somebody. I am good enough. I am growing. I am growing wiser. I am growing stronger. There is something more. This talk, this moment, this speech, this video is for those who are unwilling to settle for less, those who are done with just enough, those who are done with poverty and lack, those who are done living paycheck to paycheck, those who are done just living a mundane, ordinary life. Be grateful for the paycheck, but if you've been called for more, go after more. I'm putting it all in. I'm putting it all on the line. I'm not afraid of rejection. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm giving it everything I have. I'm all in. I'm all in. Are you all in? Put it in the chat. I'm all in. Drop it in the comments. I'm all in.
I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody. Because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. You may not know this now, but you're this close to igniting your inner champion and reclaiming your destiny. If it's just that I want to be up more than anybody on the planet want me to be down. Be champion before you become champion. Wanting to get the best out of yourself, not competing with anyone else but you.
We don't back down from anyone, and that's what got me in trouble. I don't play games, I don't kiss anyone's ass, and I'm a real man. And that's regardless of being a fighter, I'm a man, and that's why I want to be a man. And if I die, I want to die a man.
And when you're really focused, you hear everything. When I come to the ring, I notice everybody. I can hear you breathing. I can hear you talking. I hear everything. might have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. The closer, the more confidence I get. The closer, the more confidence I get. But the closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one can beat me.
There's no one to stop me.
The world will know my name till the end of time. They call me the greatest. Because I'm a savage. That's who I was. I didn't want nothing till I got something. And when I said something, I mean the crown.
You knew from the beginning the world was going to know who Mike Tyson was.
100%, yeah.
At what age did you know that?
14.
Why is that?
Because I was beating everybody at 14. More than my skills, I had the mindset. To kill, destroy, break them down. It's just, I'm the greatest. You know, success is all about a lifestyle. I lived the lifestyle of the champion at 14. In order to be the champ, you have to live a lifestyle of the champ. It's all about discipline, doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That's what it's all about. If you don't have discipline, I don't care how skillful you are, you're nothing. If you don't want to be the best ever, why are you here? Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. It's all about the belief that you can do it. Belief is more powerful than anything. Only thing we can do is just have that focus and believe in ourselves and believe that I want to be up, then anybody in the world wants me to be down. And it's all about, well, like I said before, self-belief. My whole success is from belief. I just believe in me, and I'm gonna overcome all my adversity. The truth will set you free, but it's gonna make you miserable first. And that's how we improve as a person, improving ourselves. You have to first have the aptitude to do what you claim you want to do. And if you have that, and the determination and the will to win, there's nothing that you can't do. Impossible is nothing compared to anybody that tries. Nothing's impossible then. Confidence breeds success, success breeds confidence, and confidence applied properly will supersede a genius. Life is just a circle. They're gonna hate me again one day, and then God willing, they're gonna respect me again one day. Because in order to be a master, you have to first be a fool, I guess. You have to believe in yourself before you believe in anything else. God, religion, you have to believe in you. And once you believe in you and have a relationship with you, there's nothing that you can't do. You have to be the champion in this to be the champion in this. When I win the morning, I win the day. So that's why exercise is important to relieve your stress. Win the morning, you win the day. And so I realized life is all about, in here, it's all about your belief system.
Face fear. Never lose when you face it. Trust me, never lose when you face fear. No, mistakes don't define us. Our high points don't define us. Life defines us. As long as you can have happy moments, take as many of them as you can, because life is just a flick of the eye.
Well, that's what life is about. You gotta sit in your room sometime, give your subconscious some time and spend time and just envision yourself being with the most exciting people in the world, doing the most exciting things in the world, and just living that fantasy. And that fantasy will become reality one day.
Discipline could be taking your illusions and turning them into a reality. You dream for yourself something bigger than what you can ever imagine, and you become it. Now that's discipline.
In order to be able to change anything, you have to change yourself. You have to look in the mirror and say, what do I want to do to make me a better person? Or what is it that I can do that could define myself as being a better person than I am now? Who can I help? Who can I worship? Who can I do something to or with that would make me feel like a better person and help me reach my highest potential? You have to find that first. What is it that I can do to help people? That's all I think about. How can we help somebody? Visualizing, looking into the mirror, that's what it's all about, touching your inner core of your consciousness.
I don't believe in talent. Well, some people, they have talent. It's good. It helps when you have talent. As long as you have a lot of determination and willpower, that's all you need. And you have to have the will to win.
How do you think anybody with the will to win and desire not to lose will succeed? I would think of myself as a roaring gladiator like Alexander the Great. I feel like I'm a ruler when I'm in my mind thinking about accomplishing something. I think nothing's impossible to somebody who tries. So I never think about failure in that perspective. I think about failing, but not in that perspective. I need the pressure. Without the pressure, there's no me. Without the pressure, I don't have the guts to say, hey, I'm gonna fight this guy. I have to have the pressure. Anything that I'm afraid to do, I do it. And that's just how I live my life. The more you're comfortable with you, the more you be comfortable with death. And the more comfortable you are with death, the more at peace you are with yourself. I just knew never to get discouraged. I just knew I would get my day if I continue to try hard and believe in myself.
I am who I am, and I'm going to die being who I am, and I'm going to live being who I am. This is just who I am.
It's all about what you believe. I got belief in myself, and belief is more powerful than anything.
When you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And when you get to success, it's not about skill. When you get to a certain level of success, it's about stamina. It's sweat, it's blood, it's tears. There are no shortcuts to success. Stop thinking they are, and stop wanting people to put you somewhere that you didn't earn. I fought too long, I fought too hard. I will break you before you break me. What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? The decisions you make right now is up to you.
I really feel like if I do these things, I'm going to be successful. Execute on the things that you said you were going to execute on.
You have to outwork them. You gotta outgrind them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later. You gotta execute. The reason why I speak with so much passion, because I'm talking about my life, not something that I read. There is no excuse for not living up to the fullest potential. No excuse. Don't let your words guide you. Let your actions guide you. Now listen to me. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care what you're going through. As long as you're waking up, you're still in the game. As long as you're alive, you can still make it happen. As long as that breath in your nostrils, you still in the game. You still can win. Now get your butt up. I hope I do not believe in you more than you believe in yourself. They looked at the most successful men and women of the world, and they found that they had like 7, 8 things in common. And one of the things they all had in common was a routine. They are obsessed with their routine. There are those of you in this room, you spend a majority of your life doing what other people want you to do. You don't even know who you are. And so even what you're doing, you're not doing at 120% because you're doing what somebody else wants you to do, and you're not good enough to be somebody else. I need you to be selfish on the dream piece, because what you have to understand is when you know who you are and you start operating that, you're gonna start blessing people in a way you couldn't bless people before when you didn't really know who you were. I
I don't want nothing from you but for you to leave this room and know what you want. What do you want in your marriage? What do you want with your son and your daughter? What do you want in your health? What do you want financially? Like, how do you want to live? Stop just waking up like an accident. What do you want? And then once you find out what you want, spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after it.
One day I made a decision that enough is enough. I'm tired of being average. I'm tired. I made a decision, enough is enough. It's showtime. Listen to me very closely. When you graduate and you get a job, if you want to get paid, you never say no. You never say it can't get done. Don't you ever say out your mouth it can't get done. Even if you feel in your heart it can't get done, you don't say it out loud. You let the broke folks say that. You let the folks they find first say that. You always say it can get done. Even if you don't think it can get done, just say it and try to make up something. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. If you don't have a 4.0, what you need to be doing is studying. Get off the phone. Sorry, I'm not available until the end of this year. No, I'm for real. You reached the right number, but you called me at the wrong time. Call me back January 1st. I'm about to get busy now. Whatever you do, I guarantee you, when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it. You love sleep too much. You love that alcohol too much. You love that substance too much. You love that vice too much. There's something that you love more than yourself. I don't care what level you get to. I need you to dream. I need you to focus on why you were born in the first place. Why are you here on earth for this particular time? What are you doing here? It feels good being me. Because guess what? I can never be sweet being you. You need to tell you that you owe you something. There's those of you saying, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. I guarantee you, the world is yours. So work hard and you can have whatever it is you want.
Rich people don't waste time. They realize it's their most important commodity. They don't watch a lot of TV. They don't do a lot of entertainment. If they're not working, they're studying their craft and getting better at their craft. Every day when I wake up, I got all kind of demands. You got all kind of demands. And the reason why you're not where you want to be is not because you're not great, but you taking all other people's stuff before you spend enough time with yourself to get to know you and get to know what you want and what you should do. Don't be average, like for real, for real. Whatever it is you do, do it, and take a different perspective. I said I'm gonna grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. The day you stop evaluating yourself, the day you stop growing, the day you stop getting better is the day you die. Is the day the person who's trying to catch you will get you. Every opportunity is the last opportunity. Every opportunity, I have to reprove myself again. I need you to spend a considerable amount of time dreaming every single day. Let me tell you why. I've noticed that the people who dream and those people who dream big have a different kind of life than the people who don't dream. Bring all the energy, all the passion, bring it all together and dominate. But you better stop making excuses and find a way to win. I focus more on winning than I focus on structure. I focus on winning. What's your why? Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you put on that jersey? Why do you go out and practice? Why? I gotta commit my very being to this thing. I gotta breathe it, I gotta eat it, I gotta sleep it. And until you get there, you'll never be successful in life. When you're a winner, winning spreads, because winners win. Because it's not about where you come from. It's about hearts. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You gotta have hearts. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. But I got an opportunity to make a dream become a reality. Why have you never gone after your calling?
You know, the number one excuse is I don't have enough time. I always tell people there's 168 hours in a week. If you get 8 hours sleep a night, well, there's 50 plus hours gone. You still have 110, 112 hours left. If you work 60 hours a week, you still have 55 hours left to go do what's important to you. So I don't really buy the time excuse, but that's the number one excuse that I hear.
It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time to look ourselves in the mirror and come to the resolve that this version of ourselves is not going to carry us in the stretch. That I've been this version of myself long enough that if I don't change, if I don't do something about this, then I'm gonna find myself bankrupt.
A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private.
Discipline is the single most important thing that you can use when it comes to being successful. Motivation is fleeting. No one wakes up motivated every single day. The key to success that you're looking for, the thing that's going to make your dreams come true, is simple discipline. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to, even when you're not motivated.
You're only disciplined once a week. You're only determined twice a week. You're only enthusiastic about the journey on Sundays or Wednesdays. And once you get a covenant, once you make a covenant with who you believe God has called you to be, and you say, you know what? I'm gonna commit to this. You're gonna put the blood, you're gonna put the sweat, you're gonna put the tears in, you're gonna lose sleep, you're gonna go days without eating, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make the sacrifices necessary to manifest.
We give up too early, and if we just had a little bit of perseverance, if we just worked a little bit harder and just took it a day at a time, our dreams would come true.
There are too many people in your life who have left you. There are too many people in your life who have counted you out. There are too many people in your life who have whispered in your ear and said, you'll be worse off without them. Prove them wrong.
When I start off my day by investing in myself, I set the tone for the rest of my life, and everything else falls into place because I've set a precedent that I'm important, that I'm worth it, that I matter. And so I tell people, invest in you first, and then you have the energy, the drive, the passion to just uplift everybody else in your circle. Physical is the easy part. See, the physical part, all you gotta do is show up. If you could show up, again, be all in, ask some questions, maybe we'll add be willing to suffer a little bit into that mix, you will be okay. The psychological preparation, that's a different story. I always say the mind is primary, and I always say that a strong mind is a catalyst for change. When you see the best athletes in the world either perform really well or, on the other hand, completely bomb out, it's because of that muscle that lives between the ears.
We only have so much real estate in our minds and our hearts. We only have so much bandwidth in our mental capacity. And the more distractions, the more delusions, the more negativity that we allow to take up real estate in our hearts and in our minds, the less energy we have to fulfill the call, to fulfill destiny, to manifest the idea. Everything that you think about, that you meditate on, everything that has to your attention has to be worth your time. So now it's time to navigate and do an appraisal of everything that's in our life, everything and everybody in our life. Time to do an appraisal and ask them this question: are you worth my time? If you're not, it's time to unplug. Time to unplug. Time to unplug.
3 rules Bobby Maximus lives by. Number 1, show up every single day. Number 2, when you do show up, you want to be all in. You want to be 100% present. And number 3, be curious. Ask some questions along the way. Don't be scared to admit that you don't know everything. And if you can learn a little bit, along with showing up and being all in, the world is yours. If you want to be good at something, if you want to transform your body, you've got to spend 130 quality hours. And the next question I'm always asked is, what does that look like? It's an hour a day of dedicated practice for 6 straight months. If you want something, if you want to be good at something, you want to accomplish something, you've got to put in the time. And the minimum amount of time that you can put in is an hour a day of dedicated practice for 6 straight months. If you want to be good at something, you've got to do it every day. Like, we look at people like LeBron James. Why is he good at basketball? Because he does it every day. You look at Wayne Gretzky in hockey. Why was Wayne so good in hockey, arguably the greatest of all time? Because he did it every day. And so my number one piece of advice to people, if you want to be good at something, whatever that thing that you desire is, whatever your passion is, do it every single day. That's the real secret to success.
We celebrate athletes and we celebrate critical thinkers and innovators and actors, and we praise them and coin them our heroes, and we follow them by the millions. We love what they do in public, but you don't know the story behind the glory. You don't know the blood, the sweat. You didn't see the tears that they cried, the prayers that they prayed, the countless weeks where they went without sleep to get where they are.
When you see somebody that's successful, your gut reaction is to think they're lucky. They had a great trainer. They had it easy. If I was in their shoes, I could do it too. And the thing that I would want to say is, these people work harder than you can imagine. They show up every day. They do the work. They suffer. So when you see somebody on a screen, rather than criticize, be grateful. Rather than try to cut them down, maybe try to learn a little bit from them, because the amount of dedication that goes into that craft, a normal person will never understand.
The secret of change is to focus all of our energy, not on fighting the old, but building the new, and specifically behind closed doors when nobody's looking, when no one is there to affirm you, when nobody's there to validate you, when nobody is there to agree with you. You build in the dark, and you announce it when it's finished.
This is a new year. This is a new Don. This is a new you.
Make this the year where you just get started.
The time is now. It's time.
You have to dive in. You have to go after it.
You have to start now.
Success comes to those who want it most. It comes to those who are willing to push harder than the rest.
And this could be the year. In fact, no, this will be the year where you become more by what you overcome.
You just have to be all in.
I need you to be all in.
Do you want more in 2024?
Put your mind first. All things are possible.
This year, don't settle for good enough. This year, you've got to maximize every moment.
It's time to step into it.
Because every second of your life counts.
This is my year that I give everything I have.
Let's go for it.
Give all or give nothing.
Don't you get it?
You owe it to yourself to actually try.
That's why you have to be all in.
The challenge that we all face is the challenge of choice. The hardest thing to do is to just get started, because when we feel the resistance, the easiest thing to do is to make the choice to take the path of least resistance. Are you ready for more in 2024? Are you ready to show the world that you've only just got started, that the best is yet to come?
But right now, you know what I want you to do? You know what I'm begging you to do? You know what I'm yelling at you to do? I want you to stop looking towards tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and start looking towards where you need to be right now.
Let this be the year that you keep every commitment that you make to yourself. If you say you're going to get up at 5 a.m., do it. If you say you're going to work out, do it. If you say you're going to level up every area of your life, do it. Being all in means your days of playing small are over. If you're really all in, you can't just dip your toe in the water. You have to dive in. You must be willing to submerge yourself in the thing that you say you want.
Now what do? You got to focus on right now.
No excuses, no regrets, no fears. I need you to be all in. Cause see, the resilient mindset knows it will fail and fall, but it stays the course because it knows losers give up, but champions give all. The victory is already yours. You just gotta claim it. You just gotta stake it. You just gotta bring it into life. And you cannot bring it into life if you're going halfway. Be all in.
Look, a great life, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And the best way to design that is to just get started.
You owe it to yourself to become who you dreamed of. Believe in yourself. Make the changes you need to make because you weren't born to be mediocre.
Your gift is the pathway to lead you to next level greatness. Your gift is the pathway to lead you to next level living. Your gift is a pathway to lead you to a next level life.
I believe in the power of my future. And as much as life has tried to amputate my spirit, I refuse to go down.
The books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was afraid to take the first step. But that's not you. Because you made the choice that 2024, you were gonna give more. 2024, you were gonna dig deeper. 2024, you were gonna be all in. 2024, you decided you would not fall into the same trap that you fell into in the past. Be all in or be defeated. Be all in because your value, your worth is needed. Your value, your worth is necessary. And it's time for you to leave a mark on this world that's legendary.
You're gonna have to be relentless. You're gonna have to talk yourself up. You're gonna have to 10x your efforts so that you can 10x your results.
I'm focused on the present. I'm building my future. I'm pursuing my destiny.
Don't tell me what you gonna do. Tell me you got it done. Step into your greatness.
It's time for you to be all in.
It's never too late to start creating the life you always wanted. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time will never come. There'll always be some reason why you can't or shouldn't, but don't let that stop you. Otherwise, you'll be left with nothing more than a handful of excuses and an empty heart. So I'll say it again. You have to start now. You're in control of your own destiny. You can be whoever you want to be. You can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. You just have to be all in.
You can't keep starting and stopping. You can't keep second guessing yourself. You've got to be committed to the process. And most of all, you've got to be committed to yourself. Because self-commitment is one of the most important commitments you can make.
Let me tell you again in case you didn't hear me the first time. Be all in. Jump in the deep end and learn to swim. Jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down. Put the pedal to the metal, all gas, no brakes.
Success comes to those who make sacrifices. Those who sacrifice days out with their friends, who sacrifice TV every night, who sacrifice the drinking and the partying, who sacrifice sleep so they can work harder towards their dreams.
It's not just going to show up at your door. When you don't feel like showing up, that's when you've got to say, you know what? I'm committed to this.
This is not the year that I play around with my life. This is not the year that I sit and wait for destiny to hunt me down. I will hunt everything down that belongs to me.
Don't you want to feel what it's like to actually live? Feel what it's like to wake up with a smile on your face when you look in the mirror?
This is the year where you decide to think greater than you feel. You decide to get better, better than you've ever been before.
This is your moment to decide. Will you continue on living the life that you have lived? Or will you unlock your greatest potential?
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
It's the moments in life, the decisions you make on a moment-to-moment basis that add up to be the guy or not the guy. Tonight, I did something, that I feel more of a guy. For me, who I am, my guy.
Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, full responsibility to change.
If you had to create a human, what would you put them through to make them tough? It probably wouldn't be a really chill life. What would you put them through to make them patient? We probably wouldn't give them things immediately. And so it's like we want these traits, but each of the traits has a price tag attached to it. And it's just like, do you want to pay the price tag to get the thing? And so I think if people reframe the period of life that they're going through as the price that they're paying out of their wallet, but the wallet is their time, is the seconds of life that they're trading for it, then I think more people will be willing to make the trade. Because at least when I look at myself, like when I'm 80 something years old and I'm looking back on my life, I want to have these traits. But in order to have those traits, I know I have to go through these things. And I think for me, that's given me a lot of comfort in hard times.
Right now in life, your family is looking for that one guy right now. They're looking for that one guy who's strong, who's that pillar for the family in hard times. Make sure they look around and find you. These are the times right now for you to step up. Be that guy that can take anything. Stay hard.
The biggest regret of the dying is never becoming your ideal self. I do believe that we're thrust in a world that we don't fit in. And I believe the journey is that a lot of people sell you a bill of goods along the way. That if you get some awards, you mean something. You go to a certain school, you got it. You're cute, classical beauty, you got the right man, you got the right zip code, and you swim through all that filthy swill until you come to the really, really stark conclusion that I want to leave this earth becoming who I know deep within I am supposed to be.
The next time you want to just give in to that desire for comfort, remember that your future self is going to be the one to suffer the consequences. It's so easy to just put it off and act like it doesn't exist. But that future self that you're passing all these burdens to will one day be yourself of the present, and you'll wish you chose to do otherwise.
Everything that you do counts. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that only what they want to count counts. No. When you read a book, when you listen to an audio program, when you go to a course, when you go to bed early and get up early and you work, it all counts.
Never f***ing apologize for being yourself. If people don't like how you act, how you look, how you speak, that just means those aren't your fucking people. Don't change who you are to match your surroundings. Pick better fucking surroundings and be yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Most men would understand that when a man cries and he's whimpering, he's hurting. You know, because I've been there. And there's no shame in crying, gentlemen. Men, it's okay to cry. We can still be a man, but you're also human. And it does show a little bit of your vulnerability.
Do it for your loved ones. Do it for your wife. Do it for your husband. Do it for your children. Do it for generations to come. Come on, after you're dead and gone, what will they say about what you did? Yes, there's so many people depending on you, but it's got to start with you and the man upstairs.
If you want to be great, oh man, prepare to get up off that mat. You're gonna get knocked down over and over and over. And even when you feel like, no, I can't be hit this hard. Or if you're down there thinking, there's no way I can get up from this. That's when you're just starting.
For some strange reason, this world wants to see you water down the reality of who you are. Our society wants to see you think like everyone else and feel just like those around you. Maybe for somebody who's so distracted from their true desires as a person, that doesn't sound so bad. But the pain of seeing through limitation in full absence of distractions is almost unbearable. You see, it hurts because the resistance wants you to give in and mold to what's expected of you. And if I can provide some advice, don't.
I don't know where you are in your game of life. You may be in your third quarter. You may be in your fourth quarter. Come on, you're not gonna live forever, not in this world, come on. You may be in your first quarter, your second half, and this time it's gotta be personal. See, last time you were just running through the plays. Last time you were just running the songs that you rehearsed in rehearsal. Last time you were just going through the motions and you got numb, come on, and you got tired and weary, and now you're broken and bitter and angry because you lost. And I'm just wondering if you're courageous enough, bold enough, if you have enough faith, come on, if you have enough inside of you, resilience, to come back to the scene.
This life is relentless. You better keep coming back from all your failures, all your doubts, all your shit. You better keep fighting, keep getting up. Never fucking lay down for shit. That's one thing we should all agree on. If you've been broken once, you know how that shit feels. That means, fuck it, try and break me again.
You got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking it. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we gotta play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight.
Pick your mountain, whatever that mountain is, and each journey up the mountain is a million steps, and each day you have to take that step.
Yeah.
Each day you take that step, you look up at the mountain, you say, that's where I want to go. And then each next day you take your step over and over and over again.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Let yourself go, fall free into it, step into it. You are worthy. You are an unrepeatable miracle, and there is none like you in all the earth. There will never be another you. Your DNA, your fingerprint, come on, your gait, your presence, your authenticity. Come on, you're special. You're special and you're necessary.
All humans are stardust. All humans share a chemistry with a biology, with all other life on Earth. So why not look around and say, I'm not special because I'm different. I'm special because I'm the same as you, as others, as the tree, as the brook, as the animals, the woodland creatures. And we can all sit here and look up at the night sky and say, yes, we have kinship with the cosmos. I feel large because of that, not small.
I think we're an evolved enough species to say, no, there is a right and a wrong. There's a better path and a not so good path. There is a transcendent self, at least, to chase. A better self, a projection. I think it's fair to project and believe in a delayed gratification that, no, I want my life to have some escalation. Yeah, I know it's going to have its downs and ups, but I want to have at the end at least to have a small ramp. Or what the hell are we doing here? Or what is evolution? You know, so at least to chase after that.
I think like in life, you can get whatever you want, but you can't want whatever you want. If you don't want it, there's no creating that. I think if you really wanted it, you wouldn't need this like inspirational podcast to make you make that decision. You'd already be doing it. That's not to be defeatist. It just means that like the only goal that anyone should have in life is one of happiness and fulfillment. And like this idea that you have to win to be happy could not be further from the truth. Why do we hear about rock stars and famous actors and these people that we see as sort of like the absolute apex of success in the industry? Why are they all killing themselves and dying of alcoholism and like all that darkness happening at the highest level? It's like, because that doesn't equal happiness. Like, what is happiness for you?
Your mind, your emotions, your body. You have 100% control over what you do with these things, and that's where the game is won. You win the inner game, then you win the outer game. But a lot of people spent their life trying to win the outer game, they won, and they're miserable.
You look at your life as you look into the future and say, what fears am I holding on to? What fears that I'm allowing to imprison me, that's keeping me from breaking out? That's keeping me from living up to my true potential, that's keeping me from really being happy, that's keeping me from having a sense of adventure and excitement in my life. What's keeping me from controlling my destiny? What fears? And I'm giving that permission to. Notice what I said, that we must give our permission to fear to immobilize us. Because whatever discomfort you experience, whatever challenges or difficulty that it is, you got to handle it. You got to go up in there and wrestle with it. Will it be easy? No. Will it be challenging? Yes. See myself. Confronting my fears. Handling my fears. I'm more than able.
If you're struggling, if you're frustrated with yourself, if you're at that point where you're so sick of yourself and your excuses, I've been there, Stephen's been there. This is a normal part of the human experience. And at some point, either the pain is going to get big enough, or you're going to bump into somebody's story somewhere on this planet who has been in the position that you're in right now, facing the stuff that you're facing right now. And there is something about their story at this exact moment in time that will ignite something in you that is missing. And what is missing in you right now is hope. Because when you're stuck and when you are on a downward spiral, whether it's just in your own head or it's in self-destructive behavior, the thing that's missing in your life is hope. You don't believe right now that anything is going to make a difference. What if this is the time sobriety sticks? What if I go to therapy and I actually do change the way that I think? What if I could recover from this narcissistic abuse that I've, been kind of struggling with after that relationship or that marriage? What if I could get out of debt? If that person did it, maybe I could do it. And without either hope or that kind of rock bottom moment, I don't think you're gonna change.
Scratch is what makes you better. Scratch, friction, obstacles create growth. There's no friction when you're this far up in the game anymore. You think there is. That's right. When you cheat so much, the friction is minor. Because why? I'm sore. I'm gonna get a massage today. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat today. The refrigerator is always full. So your comforts are now, so your discomfort is now very minuscule to your discomfort back here in the $7 a month place. So you have to go back to the total discomfort to then raise your level of where you're at now. I'm not saying stay there and stay there. Visit.
Visit it.
And then you raise your level.
You begin to realize that your dream and your gifts have so much meaning and so much value for you till your hunger for them will begin to push you past the fear. Your hunger to have them will give you a special drive. As you work on yourself, as you begin to acknowledge your true identity, the true power that you have, the true capacity you have to bring about change, the miracle-working power that you have within yourself to do the things that you want to do.
And once we learn to make choices that measurably pay us back, give us more residuals for longer term, for longer time in life, we start to fall into that wise place of being able to navigate the art of living, where life becomes a little bit more of a dance.
You're sitting on the edge of the bed trying to have an honest dialogue with yourself, and the little voice says, you know, it's pretty disgusting in here. And you think, well, I'm way above such trivial niceties as organizing my room. It's like, well, that's pride. That's arrogance. If you're above organizing what's actually yours, how in the world are you ever going to organize anything else? And so you get on your knees and you think, well, it's time to, you know, take a brush to the toilet. And maybe that's where you start. And that works. Like, that works. You start making those micro improvements, like real micro improvements, real on the ground, actual micro improvements to things you know that are wrong, you'll improve unbelievably rapidly.
If you don't have hope and you don't have this breakthrough where you have for just a millisecond this insight where you go, well, what if things didn't work out? If you don't have that moment, most people stay so stuck in resignation. There are so many people that are not aware of how much better and how much more present and how much more joy they could experience in their life.
See, when you are not filling your life with the things that you are capable of doing, see, we all have some stuff that we've been given. And I don't think that it's optional for us to sit on what we have. See, if you're sitting on what you have, what you've been given, I think everybody's been given something to bring to the planet, that only you can do that, only you can perform that, only you can initiate that activity. And if you don't do that, if you're not filling in your life with your life work or your mission, then there are gaps in your life. And what we do when we're not living out our true identity, we begin to fill the gaps. We fill the holes with garbage.
Success is getting what you want. Fulfillment is living what you're made for.
This is dreams we're talking about. We're talking about dreams.
Can you train your brain to appreciate? Because in the middle of whatever you're pissed off about or frustrated or fearful about or worried about, you're deleting all the things you can be grateful for, you can appreciate that are absolutely real.
Be your own motivator, and you build yourself up.
And that's the problem with the mind. You know, I want your listeners or viewers to really think about this. You do not experience life. You experience the life you focus on. That's it.
There is a gap between who you are, what you want, and where you want to be. Your story is not your fortress. Your story is your fuel. Tell me I'm not good enough. Tell me I'm not strong enough. Tell me I won't finish. There is this intrinsic emotion, this instinct. You have just awakened the lion in me. I don't care what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to give, how you're trying to evolve, what you are looking to become.
everything rises and falls on your perspective.
Somebody who has lost everything, who people stop believing in, is a very desperate person. They're climbing a hill. They try to achieve a dream. And when you are desperate, you are very dangerous. And a dangerous man or woman is somebody who is a disruptor. They don't play by the rules. They are coming for blood.
Sometimes you gotta take a break from just about everything, disappear, come back, and shock the world.
I have worked while you have slept. I have learned while you have partied. I have saved while you have spent. And I will live like you dream.
I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill.
The dog scrambles. The dog barks. The dog runs after whatever it wants. When a dog is hungry, move out of his way. It is coming for blood.
Go through the process in the dark room that prepares us and equips us for the stages of destiny. I'm talking to that person that doesn't have a problem laying in obscurity, because you know that when you come out of the dark room, all eyes on you. Are you going to complain in the face of conflict, or are you going to seize the opportunity?
What steps are you taking to become and to live the life, to make the dream a reality?
You want to be committed? You want to be consistent? You want to be creative? You want to be purposeful? You want to be reflective? And you want to be grateful? These are just a few things that you want to be as you are moving forward in your self-awareness. That mindset is going to get you bankrupt. I should start this. I should stop that. I should forgive. I should. You don't get what you should, you get what you must have. If you are going to give and grow and evolve and attain and become, everything rises and falls on your viewpoint.
You got a dream to buy a house. You got a dream for better relationships. You got a dream to win a fight. You got a dream to get your family out of the hood. You got a dream to lose weight. I mean, whatever that dream is, whatever you have, that goal, that improbable feat, once you get it set, once you smell that, once you get a feel for it, taste of it.
Do what is required to manifest it into reality. If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. Stop telling everybody what you're going to do. Stop telling everybody what your next move is, and just disappear and do the work that is required.
Go back to the gym. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the business. Go back to the relationship. Go back to the burning building. You have unfinished business.
You have unfinished business. You got work to do. You have to disappear and put the work in and come back and shock everybody that doubted you. Can you hide yourself in the library? Can you hide yourself in the gym? Can you hide yourself in the boardroom and plan and caucus and do what is required behind the scenes in order to manifest the moment?
I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing. And so you literally have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's in your hand is a dream. We navigate through life and we keep missing the bridges to bridge the gap between dream and reality. So do you know what is required of you? Are you aware of what is required of you to make happen what you see only in your head? Almost every man wastes part of his life in attempts to display qualities which he does not possess. I want you to ask yourself the question, are you the person that is projecting a different you to the world on social media, on your websites,
in your meetings? Are you projecting a different you? Are you the same person in private? And I know that there are multiple versions of yourself, or even I have multiple versions of me, but are they consistent? What if you could just shut out every distraction? What if you could just shut out the world for just a season and focus on you? A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. Can you unplug for just a moment and focus on you? Focus on what matters. Everything that you think about, that you meditate on, everything that has to your attention has to be worth your time. So now it's time to navigate and do an appraisal of everything that's in our life, everything and everybody in our life. Time to do an appraisal and ask them this question: are you worth my time? Are you aware of your why? Why are you here? What are you doing? Who are you connected to? What are your people, your places, and your purpose? Why are you here? What is your destiny? You will never fulfill your destiny doing work you despise. So whatever it is that you're going after, whatever it is you feel as though you've been destined to do, are you willing to push whoever, whatever out of your way to get your piece of the pie? I am determined to win, no matter what season I'm in. When you counted me out, when you rejected me, when you overlooked me, when you ignored me, I waited painfully in obscurity for the opportunity to take the throne.
All you gotta do is show up with a new game plan and a new perspective. You got unfinished business.
Your reality of me says I'm not enough. Your reality of me says I can't do this. Your reality of me says you won't finish today. My reality says all I have is all I need. I'm not living in my setback any longer. I'm moving forward.
The right perspective makes the impossible possible.
The next milestone and achieve it. You're not here to be happy. You're here to live life. You're here to experience suffering. You're here to experience tribulation. You're here to experience heartbreak, pain, joy, pleasure. Every single avenue, every single emotion. Why would you limit yourself from experiencing that? Why? Because you're scared? You're afraid? You don't know how it's going to work out? It doesn't feel good? Perfectly fine. But I've come to understand, I've come to realize that the beauty of life isn't in pursuing happiness, it's in pursuing experiences.
Going out of your comfort zone and overcoming the butterflies that are going to be in your stomach and the little mini panic attacks that you're going to have, go do those things and do them as often as you possibly can. And you will get used to all these little feelings that arise when some pressure situation unfolds.
Just eliminate all external distractions and, just focus on the process itself and enjoying it every single day. Chopping wood, carrying water. Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up. So, just a mentality, really.
Somebody who does not have enough courage, who does not have enough discipline, who does not have willpower. Maybe he just does not have the power anymore to keep on going and going and going after he failed so many times. But because of these failures, because there is something inside of you which feels that you don't want to fail the 4th and 5th and 6th time anymore. Because of this, something else inside of you starts to become very, very strong. And once again, and then you only need to keep repeating and going, repeating and going. Don't lose sight. Don't lose sight.
It's the starting line. And what a beautiful place to be. Where else would you want to be? To be standing at the edge of a new life, the edge of a new opportunity, the edge of a new path that you can walk. And I know that you might look up and see the mountain before you, the heights that you can't even see the tops of. But there's no place you'd rather be. Because right now, in this place, is the beginning of something beautiful. The opportunity to create like you've never created. The opportunity to let go of everything, all of that baggage that's kept you down in the past. You can let it go starting now.
In our journey of life, if we are doing it correctly, we will have dreams and aspirations, goals and objectives, desires for success, and the ability to position ourselves to help others. Our success in achieving any of these things will be based largely on our ability to endure along the way. Endurance is the foundation upon which greatness is built and is a beacon of strength and resilience.
Sometimes your body just hurts, your legs hurt, you're sore, but that's how you get better. And the only way that you can get better is by pushing yourself beyond what you believe you're capable of doing.
Nothing you want is going to happen in your timing. It almost never does. So everything you ask God for, it comes in a process. It's going to happen. It's the never giving up that hurts people the most. You pray for something, you ask God for something, then when it don't happen in your time, then you create these human excuses. It just didn't happen in your timing. But I can almost assure you, nothing you want is going to happen in your timing. It almost never does.
This is it, man. It's your time. This is your moment. You've been praying for an opportunity. Here it is. You're about to walk into that season of your life. I just hope you're ready for it.
The odds of you being on this earth is 1 in 400 trillion. So you were chosen to be here. The only difference between you and the person who is going after their purpose is the choice of being chosen, believing that they are chosen. Those who are great are those who choose to be chosen.
Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves. That's what it is. Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves. Because if you tell yourself the truth, and the truth is, I'm not happy with where I'm at. That's the truth. The truth is, I can do more. The truth is, I can do much better than I'm doing right now. And if that's the real truth, if that's what you believe, if you believe that to be the truth, you won't have to find more discipline. Discipline will find you.
If you value your goals, you need structure. You need a routine that gives you the best possible chance at achieving them. Whatever it is for you, find a way to start your day that makes you feel your best. There's a good chance you already know what that is, and it's likely something hard that you'd rather put off. You will always fall into a routine. You either create one or it will be handed to you. You choose.
You don't have the answers, and it's probably pretty damn scary. And I say that's okay, because that is how it is. This is the reality that many of you are facing. This is the world that we live in.
In a world filled with noise, your voice, your actions, and your decisions have the power to carve out silence. a silence in which you can find your true self and your path to success. It's easy to get lost in the crowd, to follow the well-trodden path, but your journey, it's unique. It's not defined by the cacophony of doubts and fears, but by your ability to rise above it. Embrace the solitude of ambition. Let it be your guide in the chaos. Remember, the tallest trees grow in the deepest silence.
Feelings are like waves in the mind, and you just want to just be with them. You want to be in the misery. You want to be in the pain. You want to be in the emotional suffering. Just be there without any resistance, as if you're letting waves just move through you, and watch it, stay with it, and they will dissolve. Like waves dissolving back into the ocean, the feelings will dissolve into the mind.
Your gift will make room for you. And in time, that room will be large enough to stand in. And then the room will be filled with people. And then the people filled with your light. And when they leave, they take that light with them. You see, your light, when confined to you, only goes as far as you can travel. But sharing your light with one other person, 2 other people, 3 other people, now that might just change the world.
Where you're going, right, where you're destined to go, it's not supposed to feel good all the time. It's not supposed to be easy, you know? So when you're going through seasons of discomfort, seasons of feeling overwhelmed, feeling pulled in a lot of different directions, understand that it's a part of you getting to the place that you want to be, you getting to the best version of yourself. It's all playing a role. And you know, like that vision that you have for yourself, you know, the dreams and the aspirations you have for yourself, like, they're not easy to attain.
Like some people's expectations, their belief systems are, life should be taking care of me. I got to show people that life is calling to you. You need to deliver something to life. Because as long as you're waiting for somebody to take care of you, then you're always the victim. You're always waiting. Whereas if you think that I'm here to deliver something to life, I have a responsibility to life to give something, not just get something. That's when people feel alive, because what you get never makes you happy.
Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will always find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people.
Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. No one of achievement has avoided failure, sometimes catastrophic failures. They keep at it. They learn from mistakes. They don't quit.
You were given a gift, but let me tell you right now, it comes at a cost. Your gift is not free. What's the cost? You have to work for it. You have to work at it. You have to manifest it. You have to grow it. You have to get better at it. You have to get better at sharing your gift. You have to cultivate your gift so much that you can share it. Your God-given gift doesn't guarantee that you will succeed. It just guarantees you an opportunity. And let me tell you what an opportunity you have.
Your potential is like that tree, waiting to rise above the noise, to reach heights unseen. This is your moment to tune out the distractions, to focus on what truly matters. Your growth, your journey, your impact, your success. Rise above the noise and let your actions declare to the whole world your purpose.
And so what's the point of climbing this mountain that the world says we should climb in order to be successful and happy, and realize at the end of a career, at the end of a life, we've climbed the wrong mountain?
Two things we get every day. That's a chance and a choice. Let's put more value on the choices that we make, because our choices is what determine our destination.
Believe in your vision when no one believes in your vision or the world believes in your vision.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Maybe the secret to success isn't in everything that we once thought. Maybe the secret to success instead is asking ourselves, what if? Maybe it's in the curiosity to want to know, what would happen if? What would happen if I got up one more time, even though I've fallen flat on my face 10 times? What if I got up 11 times? What if, even though I'm tired and I'm out of breath and my heart is ready to beat out of my chest, what if I made it to the top of the hill?
If you reach for the stars and fall, that landing will not hurt as bad as the regret of never jumping in the first place, of never going after your dreams, of never truly finding out what you're made of never truly finding out how far you could go in this life.
That mindset of success, that mindset of I can make this happen, that mindset of I can be that person that I'm talking about and dreaming about. But in order to do better, I have to get better. See, it starts with me. It starts with me improving who I am. That makes me better at everything that I do. When I improve who I am, when I focus internally, when I invest in me first, that's what makes me better at all the things that I do. And in order to be successful, I have to believe that I can be successful. And that happens through self-improvement. When I invest in me, wholeheartedly, I can start to believe and see those things coming to fruition.
Paying too much attention to the immediate pleasures of life. There's so many of these other distractions going on. You want to be paying attention to yourself. And the problem with people in the world today is you're not paying attention to yourself. You're not inside your own head. You don't hear those voices. You don't hear what you love, what you like anymore. And so you're always like attuned to what other people like. Self-awareness, being able to hear those voices, is the key to everything.
If you let people's perception of you dictate your behavior, you will never grow as a person. But if you leave yourself open to experience, despite what others think, then you will learn and grow.
Those who can do, those who can talk about those who can. Now, can you or can you not? Or you just one that sits on the sideline to talk about other people? Or can you step up?
What do you want to make happen in the next 6 months of your life? We're almost a third of the way through the year already. And the fact is, 6 months, it is going to just pass in the blink of an eye. Do you know how fast that time is going to go? Just take a minute and think about the next 6 months and imagine what you want your life to look like. What's it feel like in your day-to-day life? What's happening in your career? How have your relationships or your friendships changed? I really want you to stop and visualize it. What do you want to make happen?
Who would I become? How would I think about the world? Maybe it's the curiosity to discover what is around the next corner. Maybe you become the person that changes your family's legacy forever. Wouldn't that be worth getting up just one more time? Wouldn't that be worth getting up 30 minutes earlier than your alarm? It's believing that you can. And believing that something greater is in store for you. Because I promise, if you are going out into the world, attempting to leave everything better than you found it, using your gifts for good, I promise you, it will be impossible to call yourself a failure.
This is it. This moment, that is it. No need jumping in the past, no need looking for anything in the future. You will not get more than you have right now. It's just here.
don't get to world class by doing easy things, taking easy projects. It's not an easy route. World class is about victory. It's achieving victory over your fears, your doubts, your disbeliefs, your procrastinations, your limited self. So don't be in the business of looking for easy. There's no joy there. There's no energy there. We come most alive as human beings when we achieve victory over difficult things.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living."
And the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have, and it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Your mindset can either be your superpower or your prison. It can elevate you or limit you. When you reinforce doubt and fear, you become trapped within the confines of your own mind. The world is what it is, but what's important is how you perceive it. You are the author of your own story. Don't let your mind put the governor switch on your potential. Use it to live the life of your dreams. We're all a work in progress. Growth has no end. Your story is still being written. You're the writer and the narrator. There's no limits to self-improvement because no one can ever truly reach a state of perfection. Everything around us is always changing, and so we must evolve too. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that you're finished. It doesn't matter how far you still need to go. All that matters is that you're still trying.
It's not just about what do you want. It's especially about what are you willing to sacrifice for this. This is the question. What type of sacrifices are you willing to go through? What type of suffering are you willing to take? And based on that, it determines what can you reach.
If you have a dream, if you have a goal in life that you want to accomplish, I can tell you, hard work, dedication, determination. Take small steps, and sooner or later, they will continue to grow and grow and grow into bigger accomplishments. Believe in yourself, stay strong, stay focused. No matter what, the bad times don't last forever. If someone tells you you can't, you prove to them that you can. If someone fires you from a job, when one door closes, another door opens. Always believe in yourself. Don't try to be like anyone else. Live your ideas to the fullest. And always believe that no matter what happens in your life, it's for a greater purpose.
Like, I can't say this enough. Stop waiting. Do not waste your life waiting, worrying, or wishing for things to change. You gotta want it enough to do the work. Your dreams have a brick path that will get paved every single day, one brick at a time.
How many times have you told yourself you're going to do it? How many times have you told yourself tomorrow? How many times have you told people what you were going to do? You know where all that talking has gotten you? Nowhere. You have not moved the needle once. I know it kind of feels like you're doing it when you talk about doing it, when you think about doing it, when you plan to do it, but the reality is you have not done anything. So when are you going to do it? At what point does the talking stop and the action begin? If it's at any other point than right now, you are not serious. You don't want to do it. You want to keep indulging in the that got you in the position where you want to change instead of just actually changing. Nobody who is that serious about change, knowing how hard it is to change, waits until tomorrow to do it because they don't want to spend another second being anything other than what they could be.
Consistency is having a goal, and when you wake up that day and you don't feel like it, you still do what you told yourself you was gonna do. That's all consistency is. It is the days you don't feel like doing it, and you realize that I am where I am because of other people's sacrifice. I got to get up and make it happen, even though I don't want to get up and make it happen.
Make your future dream a present fact by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So whatever it is that you would like to experience in your life, you must be able to feel it. So live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and that you shall be. Every feeling makes a subconscious impression. And unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed.
Greatest people on the planet have suffered the most. Suffering is not bad. I'm suggesting suffering is awesome. The ego runs from suffering because it's the death of the ego. But I believe pain, difficult times, failure, loss is purification and preparation for personal heroism.
You are not your losses. One misstep doesn't define who you are. If you've lost or failed, so what? Stop being the victim. Feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to get you any closer to your goal. It's not a loss if you learn something. So take accountability for the damage that was done and just keep moving forward.
Many times people want to rush, they want to accelerate the journey, but they don't understand that the journey is lifelong. There is no end goal, there is no end destination. You are in this journey from the moment you were born until you die. Today is just another, brick that you're laying to build your ideal house.
We have a choice to accept life as it is or be an active force for good, to decide, I don't want to just survive. This is not me. What it takes to survive and what it takes to live, those are two totally different things. Do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have.
Where you are now is just a reflection of your past thoughts, your past thinking. So if you want to change your future, you got to change your thoughts now and then put them into action ultimately.
You have to go through the fire first. You have to experience the full fall and the complete self-loathing in order to come around to something like the forgiving of oneself. It's when you skip responsibility, when you use a substitute emotion like guilt, which is of no use to anyone. But if you feel the real thing, which is shame, hatred, humiliation, and self-loathing, that is the door. And if you get through that, then you can forgive yourself.
You can never lose faith. That's the key. You have to believe in something that you can't see. You have to believe when you don't see no way how.
You have to stop. You have to stop giving in to every little short-term impulse that enters your brain. You have to stop giving in to whatever feels good in the moment. You are going down an empty road. And the further you go down that road, the more you try to satisfy that appetite, the appetite just grows. It can never be satisfied. So long as you try to satisfy your carnal desires and your short-term impulses, you are going to live a life of suffering. But if you choose to suffer up front, you pay in full now, you are going to become somebody that you are proud of. You are going to become somebody that you respect. And that feeling is so much more satisfying and so much longer lasting than any other form of cheap dopamine that you're chasing after. Walk away from that path now because it is leading you absolutely nowhere.
Your back is against the wall. And every single one of you can relate to this because this is what's difficult about failure. The disappointment is on you. It is your fault, and you go through failure alone. Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. All of you understand the disappointment of failure. And I can stay down or I can get my ass up, and I'm in the getting up business.
Someday it's going to be your last day.
it's going to be our last day. So I'm going to live every day as if it's my last day and do stuff that I always wanted to do, because I don't want to go, oh man, I'm dying tomorrow, I'm dying now, and I don't want to think about what I could have, should have done. I want to do it now, and I don't care about talent. I just care about doing it now because I want it. I want to do it, and it's within me.
I think you know what you're supposed to do. Deep down inside, I think everybody does. And a lot of people just don't go after it, you know? And like most people start out, they say, I want to be a this, but I'm going to get that to make sure I have something to fall back on. Yeah. And what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're going, there's a possibility that I'm going to fall back. And when you put that out there, then you fall back. But if you just say, hey, this is what I want to do, and you go do it, you usually get your stuff the way you want it, man.
You know, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day whispering, I will try again tomorrow. The journey towards your dreams starts with the courage to begin, to take that first step, despite the uncertainty that lies ahead. It's about acknowledging your fears and at the same time not letting them hold you back. Every great achievement began with the decision to try, to step into the unknown. The path may not always be clear, and the destination may seem distant, yet every step you take is a victory. It's a testament to your strength, your resilience. Remember, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. So muster your courage, take that first step, and watch as the path unfolds before you.
It's okay to be a little lost. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be a little bit confused. It is okay. You know, stop beating yourself up so much about it. Stop feeling like you need to be there or with this person or at that point in life, or you need to have what they had. Just take a step back, take a breath, and just be where your feet are. It is okay. It is just a season in your life. It's just a period in your journey. It's not going to last forever.
When you die, you'll be dead for a very long time. Also, I don't know if you know this, you were not born for a very long time. Even though life is long, it's also, if you take a step up, very short. The concept of not squeezing the shit out of it, from a happiness standpoint, from a trying standpoint, from an ambitious standpoint, is ludicrous to me.
You know for a fact, in your mind, yeah, I should probably be doing it. And then you don't do it. I mean, you just cheat yourself. If you've got something that you want, what is stopping you from getting it? You got to realize that you're in complete control, right? You're behind the wheel every fucking day.
Life is too short to keep pushing your dreams aside. Those two simple words can hold so much power over you. Not yet implies that your dreams are just beyond your reach, that you're not ready, and that the time isn't right. But let me tell you something. The time will never be perfect, and you will never feel completely ready. The truth is, life doesn't wait for you to catch up. It moves forward, with or without you.
Hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're stepping from the known into the unknown.
You have to be willing to suffer
when everybody else gives up. You have to be able to endure when everybody else packs it in. And this is what creates greatness. And without that vision of what you're trying to be, without that conscious decision that I'm going to do this no matter what the happens, you can never achieve it because you don't have the motivation to stick through the hard times when everybody else quits.
Are you the type of person that will plant trees so that they would grow and your grandchildren can sit in that shade? If you're thinking about legacy, if you're thinking about the impact that you can have in years to come and generations to come, then you start planning. Move your calendar from today to a month from now. What do you want to be doing? A year from now, what should my life look like? What should my home look like? What should my family say about me? Write your obituary out now about the things you want to do, things you want to be remembered for. It's not about you getting up and going to work. It's about the work you put into people.
Not willing to sacrifice for your goals, that's okay. You just need to know that your goals will become the sacrifice. You have to give up what you want now for what you want most. And if you're not willing to do that, it's cool. Just know you'll never get to where you really want to be.
Pain that you go through is temporary, but the greatness on the other side is forever. It's the thing that we always got to constantly remember. And if we could just get past that pain threshold, training, whatever it is, and on the other side of that is the good, it's the greatness. So get past that threshold and get to your greatness.
But what if life wasn't about happiness? What if life is about experiencing every aspect and every emotion that life has? Wouldn't you want to experience the full set and range of emotions that life has to offer you? The sadness, the heartbreaks, the joy, right? You can't have happiness without sorrow. You can't have pleasure without pain. And to neglect one thing is to neglect life.
Get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Get over the idea that this is it, that there isn't anything more. There's always more in the tank. How do you tap into that reserve? You empty you. You challenge yourself. You find the fear that you have of heights and you conquer that thing. Remove all of those things out of your life, and when you die, you will be empty, but you will have filled the world with impact.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
People say you can't do that. You can do anything. We are God's highest form of creation. There is nothing on the planet that will equal us.
Every bad thing that has ever happened to you is your fault. Now, I use the word fault to shake people up that you are never, ever, ever, ever a victim unless you choose to be. Everything in your life will change. You're always in control.
And a man provides.
If you don't protect what belongs to you, then sooner or later, it belongs to someone else. That goes for your land, your wallet, your home, your country, everything. It is your job as a man to protect it. the story of the whole goddamn world.
You don't hate yourself. You don't think you suck. You're not the imposter. You're not insecure. Somebody taught you that.
2008, we had the third consecutive failure of the Falcon rocket for SpaceX. Tesla almost went bankrupt. We closed our financing round 6 p.m. Christmas Eve, 2008. It was the last hour of the last day that it was possible. We would have gone bankrupt 2 days after Christmas otherwise. And I got divorced. That was like rough. If things had just gone a little bit the other way, both companies would be dead.
The reason there's gonna be 1 billion motivational views today on YouTube is that people love the feeling of being motivated. They don't like putting in the work to do something about the feeling.
For 10 years, I heard every person I know making fun of me. I heard every person I know telling me it was that I was wasting my time. I've had every I know when I tell them what we're gonna do, and by the way, we've done it by now, laugh at my face. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
You know, very few people bet on the underdog. But if you would have, you would have won big. And that happened to be us. We bet on ourselves.
Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. And then all those things improve the odds of success.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks.